the machine. Angry kid, bad at every level, calling out the kings and the fish and lady devils. Paradise is burning down, words of paradise, burning down the town. He talks, he fights, he stays up through the nights. Paradise is burning down, words of paradise. He wears a digital crown. Digital crown. Burn it all down. Paradise. No more monsters, no more lies, no more games. Underneath the hollow skies, one man army against the flood, stealing out the data like his fresh blue blood. Digital crown. Burn it all down. Paradise. Shut it down. Loco. Just walk away.
Welcome back to the Lunch Hour. How are all you vital idols doing? We have got a show for you today because I've heard the Nintendo Direct was terrible. I've heard the Nintendo Direct was not good. I personally haven't seen it yet, so we're going to go through it. That being said, I did see that Ocarina of Time remake was announced. I haven't actually seen the trailer for it. I saw that it was announced. Same with Kingdom Hearts 4. In fact, I saw some gameplay from Kingdom Hearts 4 just scrolling through X. Those are really the only things I know about the Direct. Beyond that, heard it's terrible. We're going to go through all that. We're going to talk about more Stellar Blade meltdowns. And frankly, there's even more that I just couldn't put in the title. That being said, it's the Lunch Hour. Hope y'all getting your protein. You know, boys, guys, green tea. No sugar, the way God intended. Good for the gut biome. Let's just get into it. Who else we got in the business? Who we got here? Matt Stamper's up in this bitch. Nicholas Patton is here. St. Hugo, shout out. I see Eagle Lord, Sleeping Nova, the Runaway Vagabond dropping the 7 Dragon Balls and summoning Shinron. I love it when people put all 7 Dragon Balls. I love it even more when they fuck up and put like 6 or 8 and screw it up. But no, Vagabond did it right because he a real one. Piplup is here. Rockin' Hound Dog, how you doing? Sir Spamblight, he says, Mama Akko, fuck that. Bro, Mama Akko, my boy. Mama Akko, my homie. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Scene is in the house. Scene of it, it's been a minute. How you doing? Zero Dozer, I got what I wanted from the Direct. A Brave Exodus remake. I'm not familiar with that franchise, but I'm glad you got what you wanted. Rabnad Skubla is here. What is up? Straight Sith Male. I see the true Aztec Warrior. Fallen Angel. Shout out, my man. Future over you. All righty, guys. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. When I say let's get into it, I don't mean the Nintendo Direct. Because, like, look, the way I see it, I don't know if we're going to have a whole lot of opportunities to be racist in today's show. I'm going to be real. We're covering so much gaming stuff today. I don't know if we're going to have a whole lot of opportunities to be racist. So I got to make sure we cover this Carmelo Anthony stuff. We got our boy Blacks HD, the Titanfall Avenger, saying, look at this goddamn Boondock skit. And y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see this. Like, Carmelo and people.
The judge as well.
What are we doing here?
that it was
What
not a
is
case about
this?
race, but you
Bro
cannot
is over here
deny
like
that
freaking out, dude.
just the fact
Vex
of the
put this
case
the best
and what
way.
we've seen play out
Vex
since
let
then and what
Tronica
we're
put this the best way
happening now is because
in the group chat, in the Countercast group
defendant is
chat. She
black,
said,
victim
when you're
is
at
white,
the rave
and
trying to have a
that's
conversation and the
the bottom
Molly
line.
hits.
But again, this is what I
Yo,
alluded to.
that's
This brought out what's bubbling
diabolical.
right
When you
beneath the
at the
surface.
rave trying to have a conversation
The judge as well in this
and the
case
Molly hits.
that it was
Bro,
not a case about race, but you
God
cannot deny
damn.
that
See,
just
yo,
the facts
Yarn
of the
Witch Raid.
case
Shout
and what
out.
we've
Thank you
seen
so much for
play
the
out
raid,
since
Yarny.
then and what we're
Thank you so much for the
watched.
raid. I appreciate you. But it's not just that, man. It's not just that. You got this right here. Check it.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
Just like Carmelo was doing. I'm glad you just said that. That's what Carmelo was doing. Protecting his motherfucking self.
I don't have an opinion.
Yep. Protecting himself. That's what Carmelo was doing. Protecting himself. I mean, like, it's not like the dude went caught on camera brutally stabbing and murdering somebody, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I don't actually have a whole lot to say about the Carmelo Anthony stuff. I'm surprised that the verdict actually came in as quickly as it did, just because, you know, liberal judges in Minnesota, shit like that. Obviously, it looks like there's been no riots. At least they've been far more contained than normal. Like, this was an open and shut case. Let's be real. This was an open and shut case. Everyone knew what was going to happen. Glad that it went down the way it did. People are out there acting a fool. It's absolutely hilarious, but I don't know what there is to say that can't already be said. I mean, yeah, Rabnad said it best. BLM is dead. BLM is dead. Like what are you gonna do? It was in Texas. Was it? I could swear it was Minnesota. Maybe I'm thinking of a different case then, but I appreciate the correction there. Even so, yeah, Texas also made a lot of dumbass decisions lately. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate the correction there. Point is, yeah, this was an open shut case. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, hail Raiders, shout out. Thank you so much for the raid. So let's just get right into the Nintendo Direct. First go Texas. All right, thank you, Straight Mail. I appreciate that. But yeah, not a whole lot to say about the Carmelo Anthony stuff. I just want to show off a couple of funny clips that I found, because them bitches be wilding, bro. They be out there wilding for a dude. Like, it's so wild to me that black people choose just the worst people to treat as their heroes, to evangelize. George Floyd, Carmelo Anthony. Like, guys, y'all need better heroes. Y'all need better fucking heroes. I don't know what it is. I think that's why black people were so quiet when the Will Smith thing happened, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, because they don't know who to side with. They know it's like, oh fuck, black on black. We don't know which one to evangelize and make our hero. The guy making the joke, the guy actually defending his wife that he didn't walk out on, even though she cheated on him multiple times. Yeah, he was a good boy. Don't drop the soap. Single digit IQ meeting to barely become double digits collectively. DeCarlos Brown. Yeah, man, it was fucking hilarious. It was hilarious. And I really just wanted to show that first clip because I thought Vex's comment was diabolical. That being said, let's watch this Nintendo Direct, man. I haven't seen it yet. Let's watch this Nintendo Direct. I haven't seen it yet. Wizard messaged me last night. He goes, all right, Leon, where are you at? I'm buying a Switch 2 after the Nintendo Direct. And I told him, I haven't watched it yet. I'll get back to you. Skip forward a bit, maybe. Wow, really? How long does it take this thing to start? Hold on a sec. Yo, what are we doing, Nintendo? Here we go. Okay.
He can also ground pound straight down. You can use these abilities to explore the pages of the book.
The price is going up. Won't be able to get one for a long time.
Let's take a look at this creature
If
first.
there was value in it, I might think about getting one, but I'm not seeing any value in a Switch 2. How do I got a PC?
There it is.
Like, I like Yoshi, sure. This isn't really doing much for me.
Tastes sweet. New discoveries are etched onto the page like this. Hitting it with an egg seems to briefly knock it out.
I am a big Nintendo fan. I'm actually
Yoshi
quite
can
a big
also
Nintendo
flick
fan,
his tail this
but
time
none of
around.
This is doing it for me.
And doing this can let creatures ride on his back.
Price September of $499.99. And if there was
Touching the
there
flower
was games
buds with
that
this
were worth
creature
it,
causes
then
them
I
to
wouldn't
blossom.
have an issue paying that price.
If we
Maybe
ground
I can
pound on
time
it
to
to
make up
bury
my
it,
mind, but I mean,
it'll begin to sprout.
from the still image I saw, the one from the still image.
Doing this
Not
with
really.
some water
We'll
nearby
see.
causes a meadow to bloom.
What up, Sebrew?
One discovery like this will often lead to another. Sometimes you'll
There we go.
find special
Turn the video volume
discoveries
down.
like
Thank you,
this.
Tech Rat. Yeah, turn the video volume down.
Making one of these big discoveries will
Every
bring that
Nintendo
particular
presentations were like it's
expedition
very
to a
close
close.
dollars. Someone else was saying that. Who was it? Someone else was saying that we don't need.
Each
that
creature
they
you
talk to
discover
people
will
like
need
that,
to be
which
given a name.
I get it. They think their demographic is kids. Nintendo
can come up
thinks
with
their
one
demographic
yourself.
is kids.
Or ask Mr. E
It's
for a
not.
suggestion.
Nintendo's demographic is people in their 20s to 30s. People that grew up with Nintendo. Like, kids nowadays aren't playing Nintendo. Kids
Let's
nowadays
call
are playing
this one
Fortnite.
Crazy
Kids nowadays
Daisy.
are playing Roblox. Kids nowadays aren't playing Nintendo. Maybe
Discoveries
Pokemon.
are
But
logged
they're not
in
playing
when
Mario.
they're made.
They're not playing Zelda. Like, it's people in their 20s to 30s that grew up in
If
that
there's still
Nintendo
more to learn
64
about a
through Wii
creature,
era.
a future
That's the
discovery will be
demographic
marked
for
like
Nintendo
this.
fans.
You can also
In
spend the
ground pound
tokens
straight
you
down.
collect
Like,
during
guys,
your research
I'm not even.
to gain a
We're just
hint
gonna
about
skip through
other
this. Does anyone
discoveries.
care about this Yoshi game?
It looks like there's still a lot more
I don't think anyone
More
cares
to
about
learn
this Yoshi
about.
game. So,
invest to this.
holy
into the
shit!
past.
How long is this Yoshi trailer? What the
It's
fuck?
something in India.
Is it still okay?
Yoshi
Yoshi in
and
the
the
mystery book.
Mystery Book.
Don't care. Do not care whatsoever. But I do care about this. Our boy Evan coming in with a 5-banger. Correction, Ninja thinks their audience is dumb kids. Fair enough. What's this? Try it for free in Nintendo eShop.
Do you ever think about love?
Thank you for the 5-banger, homie. I appreciate it. Amiibos is still a thing, and some Amiibos are cool. Some Amiibos work. Okay, well, it's too far away from me to grab it. But I got some dope ass Amiibos. I got one right over there. I got a couple sitting out on my mantle. There's some dope ass Amiibos out there. Hey, these are the jewels. Pick up. Another thing not to care about. Oh, the presentation hasn't really even started yet. Hold on. This is just a preamble shit. Never mind. We're skipping all that. No. We're skipping all that preamble stuff. Okay, here we go. Been trash ever since the Pocket Pair drama. I would argue they've maybe before that. Before that. And the one that Hypno watched last night had no Yoshi. Yeah, so apparently there was this long-ass preamble before the actual direct started. Maybe it was sometimes only merch for some stuff. Yeah, exactly. They're like Amiibo, it's just very dependent on Amiibo itself. People up with a 2-banger. What a horrible direct. Glad I think the PC / Steam. Yeah, I mean, first of all, that's the best way to go. Base.
皆さんこん
But
にち
I
は
haven't seen it yet, so maybe I'll be
任天堂ダイレク
surprised.
トの案内役を務めます小泉です。早速ですが、まずは任天堂スイッチで発売するタイトルをご紹介します。こちらをご覧ください。
Hello.
Yeah, I agree, Rudolph.
My name is Lowell Miss Reeds, and I'm known for my reading aloud skills and more. Beep. I'm here today to help show you the Rhythm Paradise Groove game. Beep.
I mean, I like rhythm games, but I'll be real. You could have played this on an iPhone in like 2009.
Rhythm Paradise Groove. Playing this game is pretty simple.
I can tell.
Just get into the groove and press the correct button. That's all there is to it. but it's not always the same rhythm. Listen carefully to the beat.
Yes,
Find
that
your
is how
flow,
rhythm
and
games
you'll
work.
be able to feel the rhythm. 2,
Yeah, this
3,
was like something
4,
for
now.
99 cents. Exactly.
2, 3,
How
now.
is this going to be
2
in
now.
your showcase?
2, 3, now.
Let me guess, $70 game?
Over 80 all-new rhythm games are included. And as you play through the game, you can unlock different modes. For example,
The kingdom's everlasting peace rests on your shoulders. Finally, you're awake.
go forth, magician,
I can't lose.
and
Finally, you're
use the
awake. Did they
magical
drop a
power of
Skyrim
rhythm
reference?
to
Is that
beat
what that was? Is that a
monsters.
Skyrim reference?
Cast a fire spell with BA. BA. And
What
a
the
healing
fuck are
spell
we
with
doing,
B
bro?
down A. B
No,
down
I'm
A.
sorry. We're skipping this.
Like
No-
that.
Nobody
The
cares.
pros you face.
Nobody fucking
Great
cares.
for the lineup. And
Dan, Emily, Leo, Sarah,
They all look like
we're under
dudes.
attack.
and there are over
How long is the
Rhythms are a
trailer for?
Paradise Groove hits Nintendo Switch July 2nd.
Why?
Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo
You look
eShop.
ARK games are better than this? Yeah,
ご覧い
for
ただい
real.
たリズム天国ミラクルスターズは任天堂スイッチのタイトルですが、もちろんスイッチ2でもプレイいただけます。
It's a niche IP. I don't care if it's a niche IP. There's a lot of great niche IPs out there, but this looks like a
ここから
fucking
は
again
任天
99
堂スイッチ
cent rhythm
2また
game.
はスイッチ2とスイッチの両
That is
方で
not
発売する
a
タイ
like.
トル
You
を
should be
ご紹
giving
介
us
し
a
ます。
reason to buy a Switch 2. That is not a reason to buy a Switch 2. There's a reason to open the App Store on your phone.
Master the way of the sword.
Let's see your best today.
No.
Onimusha, Way of the Sword, a new entry in the Sword Play Action series, is slashing onto Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay. See,
Edo-era Kyoto has been
that is
overrun by
something that I'm sure
monsters
people would like
known
to
as
play on Switch.
Genma.
Onimusha, I can see now. I don't know how well it'll
Miyamoto
perform.
must prove himself beyond measure.
What up, Clip? How you doing?
Parry. Deflect. And the powerful counterattack Isen.
Bro, ever since y'all mentioned
Master
how
these
they're talking to
techniques
you
to
like
strike down the
absolute
enemies in
one,
your path.
I can't not hear it. Harry,
Oni armaments are
Deflect.
also at your disposal to turn the tides of battle.
it's 60 on pre-order right now. For no,
You can
that
even use
game is
Joy-Con 2 motion
$60 on
controls
pre-order
to
right now.
intuitively slay
Bullshit.
Genma. As fates intertwine, will you cut down those that stand in your way?
Like, I can
Onimusha,
play that
Way
on
of the
Switch,
Sword,
sure.
launches on Nintendo Switch
But I'm
2,
sure it's on
September
Steam.
25th.
Let's see.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
Onimusha. Wait.
Your
Onimusha Way of the Sword is on
unwritten
Steam.
epic
So why would I play it on
begins.
Switch? Why did I play it on Switch when it's on Steam?
Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen, is heading to Nintendo Switch 2. You are the Arisen, a hero burdened with the fate of slaying the dragon who has taken your heart.
Hold on a sec.
In this
Dragon's
expanded version
Dogma
of Dragon's Dogma 2,
Dark
explore the
Arisen.
new land of Norgan,
Release
seek
date.
out spoils, then appraise them to reveal new weapons, armor, or skills.
Okay,
With
so
these
this
arms
is
at the ready, take down
new-ish.
powerful monsters
Like, this
in this
isn't out yet,
single-player
so we-
action RPG
I do
adventure
like there
from
being
a
more
fighter
third-party
specializing in
support for Steam.
close-range combat
For
to a
Switch.
mage.
I do
skilled
like
in
there being more
spellcasting.
third-party support
Choose the
for Switch.
vocation
That is a good thing.
fits your playstyle.
Third-party development.
Plus, you can lead up
As
to
much as
3
people love
pawns,
Nintendo
custom
first-party IPs,
companions
Mario,
who act on their
Pokemon,
own. When
yeah,
taking
Nintendo
on massive
needs,
monsters,
needs to
you can
not
climb them to
prioritize, but
strike their
do
weak
third-party
points.
support.
Fighting
I
alongside
mean, they've
your
been good
pawns
about it in the
is
past.
key to
In
victory.
the N64 era, the
In a
GameCube era,
world
not
between dark
the
and
Wii
light,
era was
embark
okay
on an
with third-party
adventure
support.
and tell a tale all your own. What
At
fate
least
awaits
this
the
is
Arisen
something
and their
that's not
pawns?
out yet,
Dragon's
from
Dogma
PS,
2,
like from
Dark
PlayStation.
Arisen
So
launches on Nintendo Switch 2, October 9th. Otherworldly endeavors await in these games. Earth has been driven to the brink of annihilation by mysterious life forms called the Nativa. Now, join Eve on her mission
it's
to save
Celeblade just now
humanity
coming to
and
Switch.
reclaim the
I didn't even
planet.
realize that it wasn't out on Switch.
Engage in high-speed combat that focuses on timing,
Again,
Then find your opening.
Nintendo
and
doesn't
strike.
know its target demographic. That's the thing.
Defeat enemies to acquire new skills.
People
Then
in your mid
strategically
20s to
deploy
mid
them to
30s,
fit
and
the
people in their mid
situation.
20s to mid 30s have already played this either on
Can
PlayStation or
you
on
save
PC.
humanity and reclaim Earth for humankind? Stellar Blade.
I mean, great
launches on
game. I'm
Nintendo
glad Switch
Switch
players
2
will get to play it,
this
but
year.
it's not worth buying a Switch for because people have been playing it
Blast
for the last
off
2
in the
years.
two-player co-op adventure Orbitals. Protect
Okay, this
your
looks
home
cool.
in an
I like the art
expedition
design of this.
across the galaxy. There are many interstellar areas to explore. Melt ice to make a path. Activate devices in time with the beat.
Ultra mid. So far, it has been.
Escape
We're
from
super
incoming
early in.
enemies
But so
and
far,
more.
everything they're showing
Brave
off
the
is like,
dangers
why
ahead
would I
in
buy
your
a Switch for
voyage
this?
through the stars. 2 players can also work together locally or online using GameShare. Work together and overcome the crisis of the cosmos.
I mean, I will say, I like the way this game
launches
looks. I would
exclusively
100%
on
play
Nintendo
this.
Switch 2, September 3rd.
But is Orbitals a
Pre-orders
Switch
begin
exclusive?
later today on Nintendo eShop. Journey through the glade of dreams in this bold reimagining of
Wait, now
Rayman
this
Legends.
is something that a
When
Nintendo
shadowy
fan will
villain
play on
starts
the
spreading
Switch. I
corruption,
get that Rayman
it's
is
up
a
to
Ubisoft
Rayman
title.
and his friends to
But
lead,
this is something
glide,
that at least
and
makes
punch their
sense
way
to have
through
on Switch.
charming
I'll
and
give it
colorful
that.
worlds. Ride
So far,
dragons
Nintendo have to pay me
across
to get a
realms.
Switch 2. Yeah, this is bad,
Dive
dude.
into 4 new musical stages.
Why would I buy a
and
Switch
enjoy
2
more
for this, or
added
PS5
content.
for theirs, or Xbox for theirs?
Up to
All
4
these
players can go
Um,
out on a limb in
Yeah,
local
I mean,
co-op.
in terms of like
You
games
can
that were
also
announced,
play a
the games
revamped version
themselves
of
have been,
Kung Fu
I think, all
using
the
GameShare
showcases, look,
locally or
I think
online.
PlayStation, Xbox had great
Rayman
showcases
Legends
for the
Retold
games being told,
launches on
but
Nintendo
nearly
Switch 2
all of them
October
are on
1st.
Steam. Why would I buy a console?
It's a great
You're
day
like, your job
for
is
a
to sell me on
big
the
walk.
console.
Get lost with friends in this online co-op walking and talking adventure. Set off through a peaceful
So this is
world
streamer slop, but for the Switch.
brimming with challenges, puzzles,
Like, that's
and
what I'm
lots
seeing
of
right here. I'm
things to
seeing
discover.
streamer slot, but for Switch. Therefore, it can't really be streamed.
Enjoy
I mean, I
the
get, like, get
sights and
capture cards
sounds
stuff.
as you work together to find your way
I know,
around.
I know it's available on. I
Use
know
all
that Rayman's
sorts of
available on
tools
Steam.
to stay in
What I'm
touch.
saying as if you got someone that's only got a Switch
and
they're
figure
playing
out new
Switch for
methods of
that
communicating if you're in a pickle.
IPs, Rayman is more in line with the sort of games they play. Rayman is more in line with your Mario's,
They
with your
might
Zeldas,
even
and
be
your Pokemons.
Little unconventional. And if you're
Oh,
not
this is releasing
quite
on
up to
multiple platforms.
adventuring,
Oh, there we
you can
go. So
always just
once again,
relax
not a
with
reason
your
to play
pals.
it on Switch.
Enjoy the sunset, dance the night away, or steal something from a friend and kick
Y'all
it into
remember
the
when
ocean.
Nintendo were kings, dude? When Nintendo was putting out things like Super
the
Mario
usual stuff.
Sunshine or Super Mario Galaxy.
You can
when
also
they were putting
use
out
mouse
Pokemon
controls
Coliseum,
or hang
they were
out with
putting out
friends
goddamn
using
Twilight Princess or
cross-platform
Wind
play.
Waker. What happened,
After all,
bro?
spending quality time together is the best part of a
Emu
big
Pingu.
walk. Strolling onto Nintendo Switch 2, August 4th. Season the seas.
Like, all this stuff looks like it should have. Oh, hold on. We're talking One Piece here. What's going on?
Build your very own floating restaurant with the Straw Hat Crew.
Okay, hold on. It's on Steam.
Cook up recipes with Sanji.
Hold on. I gotta see this is on Steam right now.
Craft the menu.
Steam right now.
Decorate it to your liking. Then serve your customers.
Grand
as
Gourmet
you
is
run the
on
restaurant.
Steam. Let's go. I'm wishlisting
By
this right
searching
now.
for
No reason to
and
play it on
collecting
Switch.
ingredients,
I'm definitely
you'll
wishlisting it on
expand your
Steam.
menu offerings.
Cooking Mama One
Use
Piece is hype.
double
Yeah,
fruit
yeah, dude.
abilities to
Yeah, this is
prepare
hype. Yo,
piping
I
hot
want this game. Me
steaks.
too. Another
Or
mobile phone
whip
game.
up
Nah, dude.
tongue-tingling
Nah,
tauntaun
I'll play this on
noodles.
Steam. 1000%.
You can make all
I'm
sorts
down.
of delicious dishes.
No reason to play it on Switch.
Spend
I do want to
in-game
play
money
it.
to change up the restaurant's interior and expand it to attract even more customers. Over 400
Yeah, One Piece is on
characters
Steam.
from the
Yeah, I
One
just added
Piece
to my wish
series
list.
will appear. Mouse controls are also supported on Nintendo Switch 2.
That would have told me it was on Steam if I had waited that
Get
long.
ready for a feast of epic proportions in One Piece
Yeah, they
Grand
lost
Gourmet.
Reggie. That was their
Sailing
biggest
onto
thing. They
Nintendo
lost
Switch
Reggie.
2 and
Yeah,
Nintendo
what up?
Switch
Yeah, Hypno
October
is here.
23rd.
Shout out to our boy Hypno. Members, drop your Hypno emojis in the chat. There you go. Hugo knows the score. You things bring out the female and Leon in cooking games. Dude, for real. Poncho the chef stole his entire week's worth of showcases for me. You're entirely correct. To be honest, it's on Steam. I never see we can get on anything else. Exactly.
Keep adventuring in Pokemon Pokopia, even beneath the sea.
See, now, I've heard this game is incredible. I've heard Pokopia is incredible.
By using the new move Dive,
I
you
can
can
understand
enjoy
them
life
showing
with
off the
Pokemon living
Pokopia
under the
expansion.
sea.
Showing off a Pokopia expansion makes
Plant
perfect
grass.
sense. This
Build
is good
structures.
for a
And
Nintendo
expand your
Direct.
towns underwater. This free update is scheduled to release in August
And it's a
2026.
free update. Look at that. That's out of the realm of normalcy for
And there's
Nintendo.
more. The Pokemon Pokopia Expansion Pass paid DLC is on the way. Discover a brand new town.
Paid DLC makes
Bubbly
sense.
Basin. There
It's
you'll find
fantastic
new
with the price tag on
furniture,
the DLC expansion pass.
new
Insane.
outfits,
What's the price
and
point? They
new
say it on here.
friends. The Pokemon Pokopia Expansion Pass paid DLC will be available later today on Nintendo eShop. Part 1 of the paid DLC, Bubbly Basin,
35?
launches this August. Part 2
I
and
mean,
Part
it better
3
be a
will
massive
launch at a later
expansion for
date.
35.
Look out for more details
That's
in the
you're right.
future.
That is an insane price. But but if it's a massive expansion, Fallout 4 did something similar, but it was actually worth it. So. I see it looks like a Manaphy. Oh, that was the end of the trailer.
無
Okay.
料アップデートと有料のダウンロードコンテンツによって新たな世界が広がるココアポケモンをお楽しみに。続いてはこちらをご覧ください。
This is the Dagdan Empire, a prosperous land ruled by the gods.
All right, this looks like
The
Fire
capital, Daxian, plays host to the heroic games. The
Oh, yeah, this
winner of
definitely
which
looks
is
like Fire
granted one wish. Powerful fighters from across the land have gathered to participate.
Okay. All right. You got gameplay?
The story revolves around 4 heroes. Kai, a young boy determined to win the games to save his imprisoned father. Dietrich, a swordsman ever on the hunt for a stronger foe. Theodora, a queen seeking to fulfill the
yeah,
long-held
she do
dream
look like a
of her
queen.
homeland.
God damn.
And Lita,
No,
a musician
Nubian
with
queen,
her
baby.
sights set on revenge. Guide whichever character you choose to victory as they weave their own unique tale.
I'll address this in a sec.
Between matches, you can strengthen your forces in different ways.
I want to see
Hone
game.
your
I will actually
techniques at the
pause it after
training
this trailer. I
grounds.
want to talk about this one.
I'm figuring it out.
Recruit new allies. Or travel beyond Daxian's walls to gain experience. How you spend your free time is up to you. Combat takes the form of turn-based tactical battles. Consider your weapon's range and your unit's strengths on the battlefield.
Was that an ostrich scout?
Plus, each of the 4 main characters comes with their own special techniques. By using these techniques to the fullest, you might turn the tide of battle.
Rejoice with me at the advent of the underworld.
We look upon the promised one, who will route you here and guide the living to salvation. How did it feel to upheave the world? Begone from us, the darkest dark.
September 17th. That's a good release date. Like that's coming out. All right. So here's the deal. Let's talk about that one for a bit. Let's talk about, because your boy does love me some Fire Emblem. I do. Someone asked earlier, are the recent Fire Emblems good? You haven't played anything after 3 Houses. I haven't even played 3 Houses. Last Fire Emblem I played was Awakening. Now, I love Fire Emblem. I think the Fire Emblem franchise is fantastic. I haven't played anything after Awakening because 3 Houses and onward, like, they changed it to where going just from battle to battle to battle. They added this sort of like hub world thing where you run around, and I don't know if I want to play a Fire Emblem game like that. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just so out of the norm from what Fire Emblem had done traditionally that I haven't actually gotten down on Three Houses. Three Houses is so good. If the anti-Nintendo shill, I like Wizard is an anti-shill, right? Wizard hates Nintendo. So if he says Three Houses is good, it might be worth playing. Fortune Weave is a spiritual successor to Three Houses. Like, that did look good. Someone earlier said it started. They were worried there was gonna be no armies. Yeah, I was also worried until they finally showed that off. I was like, this doesn't look like Fire. Like, the art style looked like Fire Emblem. Story definitely had a Fire Emblem vibe to it. All that was good, but I wasn't seeing like the map-based tactical combat. That's what I play Fire Emblem for. Is the map? Is the map turn-based technical strat combat? So seeing that. Yeah, that looked good. Like, I wouldn't say that that's enough to sell me on a Switch 2, because so far that has been that and Pokopia are like the only two games so far that I've seen for Switch 2. They're like, okay, yes, I want to play this. And I'm not buying no fucking $500 console for two goddamn games. That being said, that did look good. That has been the first W we've seen so far. That has absolutely been the first W trailer we've seen so far. I did like that. Well done.
Fire Emblem ファン先行の発売日は9月17日です。通常版の他に
Alright, so the deluxe edition, man, Fire Emblem art books always slap, dude. Fire Emblem art, like, man, the Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn art book is a fucking masterpiece. That's a fine poster, like, it's a map of the world, nice little collector's item. I don't really care about cards. The steelbook is nice. I love having me a good collectible steelbook case. All in all, I'd say this is, I don't know what the price on this is, but this seems like an okay collector's edition.
様々な特典がセットになったご覧のラグザコレクションも発売しますので、
Asian Willem Dafoe is wild.
続いて
But I
レ
can
ッドライン
totally
をご覧
see
くだ
it.
さい。
Have fun trying to get it. I wouldn't try and get it because I'm not getting the Switch 2.
Welcome to
All right,
the next
120 is not a
level.
bad price. To be fair, for like for an art book, like, because those art books alone are usually, like, if you go to Barnes & Noble and buy an art book, those things are like $60-$70. Those are like the price of a game. Like, I think I spent $50 or $60 on the Legend of Zelda art book that I have. Well, it's not really an art book. It was the Hyrule Historia, but even so. Let's see. Not gonna lie, I'm still getting rep flash from this Nintendo Direct recently. Yeah, so far I am as well, but I'll call out the good when I see it. And I think this Fire Emblem stuff was good. I'm something of a Nintendo CEO myself. That's awesome. So yeah, I think 120 for that deluxe edition is not a bad price point. I can't believe I'm saying that about a Nintendo product.
Of Ninja Battles. The first part of Ninja 2 is sneaking onto Nintendo Switch 2.
Wow, they just straight ripped off Breath of the Wild there.
After accidentally breaking a forbidden seal, you're stranded on an
I think we're
uncharted
back to
planet.
Nintendo taking L's.
Overcome
I think
the
we're back to
dangers
Nintendo taking
lurking
L's.
here to safely return to Earth in this open-world action adventure. Use Ninja Gum to freely traverse this vast world.
Okay,
in
actually,
search
never
of
mind. Remember, the
clues to get
gameplay
back
does
home.
look pretty fun.
You can also blow a bubble to float in the air.
Oh, it's a
Defeat
bubble. I thought it was a
enemies blocking your
pacifier.
path
I'm not
with
gonna lie.
weapons
I thought that was a
crafted from Ninja
pacifier.
Gum. You can even summon buddies with Gum Ninjutsu to unleash powerful attacks. Additionally, up to 4 ninja can team up in local or online multiplayer to chew through
Local
tough
multiplayer
battles.
is always a plus.
The first part of Ninja 2, The Uncharted Planet, launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2 next spring.
Here we go. An exclusive. Okay, at least that's good. At least that's good. And the Switch 2 needs more. I don't know if that would sell any consoles. I don't know anybody is going to rush out to buy a Switch 2 because of Ninja 2. But at least there's an exclusive for Switch. That's something I
The
guess.
DK Challenge barrels in. Coming to Nintendo Switch Online on Nintendo Switch 2.
What,
the limited time DK Challenge event. Take on challenges across many Donkey Kong games available with Nintendo Classics. By completing them, you can earn and enjoy collectible digital challenge
Equal
cards.
DK NFTs. I was
And
about to
if you
say,
have
like,
Donkey Kong
I'm
Bonanza,
sure scratching
you can
nostalgia
attempt even
itch,
more challenges.
but I'm not sold on this.
Try out ones geared for beginners, or take on developer challenges for something with a bit more punch. Rediscover Donkey Kong games, play challenges, and complete your card collection. DK Challenge can be accessed via the Nintendo Switch online app on the home menu of your
Yeah, and how
Nintendo
much
Switch
is it?
2. You'll
And how
be able
much
to
is it?
barrel through these limited time challenges from tomorrow until September 1st. Plus, in the Donkey Kong Bonanza, DK Island and Emerald Rush paid DLC, a limited time collaboration with Super Mario Brothers is breaking through.
Paid DLC, collabing with ourselves. Yo, paid DLC and we're collabing with ourselves. That is, imagine if Eminem dropped a track and he was all like, yo, this is a collab with Slim Shady. It's me, Eminem, and my boy Slim Shady. Like, that's what we're seeing here.
Enjoy outfits for DK and Pauline, inspired by Mario and Luigi. Plus, there are coins, super mushrooms,
There's coins, guys.
question
We got
blocks,
coins
and
in
more.
Donkey Kong now.
Experience Emerald Rush as you've never seen it before with a Super
This is
Mario
fucking
Brothers
dumb,
twist.
dude. I don't care. Like, yeah,
This
we know that I'm
limited-time
a
collaboration
fucking
event will be
Nintendo
held
shill,
in
but this
4
is fucking
waves, with
dumb.
the first wave beginning later
Everything
today.
featuring Slim Shady and Martin Matters. Yeah,
From the creators of Vampire
they have
Survivors,
coins now.
the latest game from the makers of Vampire Survivors, Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivathon, casts a spell onto
So it's
Nintendo
literally
Switch
Vampire
2.
Survivors with
Up
Jujutsu
to
Kaisen,
8
and we
players
already
can
know that.
compete online for the
I
top
already
spot
said my
in
piece.
this
I don't fucking
Survivors
like
Royale.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
At
So
the
I don't
start
give
of
a
a match,
fuck about
players
this.
don't battle directly. Instead, take down enemies on your own map to earn points. Each time you earn 100 points,
Did you say take down enemies on your own map? Bro, they talk like fucking gamers aren't this dumb. Even like when you're young, when you're a kid and you're playing video games, the whole point of video games was that it improved your cognitive abilities, right? You're figuring out puzzles, you're learning level design, you're figuring out speedrun strats, whatever it may be. Like if you're a kid playing Sonic the Hedgehog, the whole reason is to blitz through it as fast as can. And on replay, you get faster and faster. You build that muscle memory. When you're playing The Legend of Zelda or Resident Evil, you're figuring out the puzzles. Like, kids aren't this fucking dumb. We don't need to be taught. And again, Nintendo's target demographic isn't even kids anymore. I'm going to keep saying it. Nintendo's target demographic are people that were kids 20 years ago. We don't need to be taught to like this,
you can add a
motherfucker.
rule to your run, including ones that hinder other players. The match culminates in a head-to-head final battle between the top 2 players. Who will be the final survivor? More than 20 characters from the Jujutsu Kaisen
Nintendo
series
adults.
appear.
Like,
Characters
the
can be
Japanese
unlocked
equivalent to Disney
just by
adults is
playing.
Nintendo
Battle
adults.
online with players
Hold on,
near and
DK
far,
was OG
or
Mario.
go it alone
Why the
against
fuck they giving up?
computer-controlled
DK has
opponents.
been a good guy
Exercise
for so
curses,
long now.
dominate rivals, and rise
Because
to
these
the
days
top.
we'll never know
Jujutsu
struggle with
Kaisen Rumble
stupid doesn't. That's game
Survivathon
facts.
launches on Nintendo Switch 2 this year.
In this game, push buttons to kill enemies.
Are you up for the challenge in these games?
No. Kids are not dumb. Kids are not dumb. In fact, kids are incredibly smart and kids are incredibly intuitive. Like, the idea that kids are dumb is retarded. Kids are like, obviously every kid is gonna depend, and like it depends on how you raise them and whatnot. But no, the idea that kids are dumb is fucking stupid.
Brutal, unforgiving battles storm onto Nintendo Switch 2. In a forsaken world, a looming darkness devours all
Lord of
in
the
its
Fallen
path.
2 is
Now,
coming to
only
Switch
one
2?
kingdom
Dude,
endures.
I bet this will run like
Defy
ass.
the will of
If
the
it
gods
doesn't,
to
props
save
to
what
them.
remains of
But there's
humanity.
no way this game is
Master
run on
brutal
Switch 2.
melee combat, devastating sorceries, and lethal ranged attacks.
What up, public?
Test your mettle against towering
Even when kids get
abominations
stuck on levels,
on
it's
your
usually
journey
assigned
across
bad
the
levels,
realms
not
of the
stupidity.
living and the
Or
dead.
again, if kids
A
get stuck on
hero
levels,
must rise
it breeds
for a
this
god
idea
to
of
fall.
overcoming adversity because they try and
Lords
try
of the
again.
Fallen
We've
2
all been that had that
launches on
experience.
Nintendo Switch 2 this autumn. Enter a darkly elegant.
To be fair, when you say Lords of the Fallen 2 is available on Steam, why the hell would I get on Switch? So I know the graphics suck. So here's the dealio. If they're releasing games for Switch 2 that were out like I heard Devil May Cry 5 is in this showcase, right? Look, Devil May Cry 5 is a fucking like 7-year-old game or something. Maybe even more. Anyone that's already played Devil May Cry 5 is like anyone that wanted to play Devil May Cry 5 has already played it. No one's rushing to buy Devil May Cry 5 for Switch. Something like Lords of the Fallen 2, which isn't out yet, if that's releasing on Switch around the same time that it releases on other consoles, if you're a Switch owner and that's what you have, then I think that's good. I'm against them bringing back all these old games that were already on other consoles, like Stellar Blade, for example. But if it releases around the same time as when it's releasing on other platforms, for Switch owners, that is a good thing.
World based on the story of Pinocchio in Lies of P.
Lies of P. Anyone that's already played, anyone that wanted to play Lies of P has already played Lies of P.
You must fight rampaging mechanical puppets and seek the cause of this upheaval while confronting your own humanity. Take on enemies using
and this is a great game, by the way. For anyone who's never played it,
prosthetic arms that allow you to swap between different abilities.
Yeah, exactly. Live and learn.
But know this: the lies you tell will alter your fate. Lies of P Complete Edition, which includes Overture, a prequel expansion to the main game, launches on Nintendo Switch 2, August 6th.
I did not play Overture.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. The most recent entry in the legendary Devil May Cry series is slashing its way onto Nintendo.
I said I had heard this was on here. This is worthless. Like this is fucking worthless. I've beat Devil May Cry 5 on PlayStation 4 when it came out on PlayStation 4. Beat it again on Steam when I got a PC. Even if I owned a Switch 2, let's say I went out and bought a Switch 2 because I thought it was worth it for Pokopia, Ocarina of Time, Fire Emblem, whatnot. There's no reason to buy this game. Like there's no reason to play this game when you travel. For example, there's the whole thing of the Switch. It's like, oh, it's a handheld when you travel. I take my Switch everywhere. Like when I fly, dude, I play on the Switch. Even if I was playing on the Switch, even if I was on an airplane, I wouldn't be booting up Devil May Cry 5. I wouldn't be booting up. I'm gonna boot up fucking Smash Bros or something. Not Devil May Cry.
Nintendo Switch 2.
This is worth
Play as Nero, Dante, V, and Virgil, each armed with different battle styles, as you fight off hordes of demons and epic bosses. Pull off stylish attacks, dodges, and combos with your vast arsenal of weapons and skills. Enjoy thrilling, high-octane combat at 60 frames per second in both TV mode and
Devil May Cry
mode,
5 censored by
plus
Nintendo
additional
and Capcom.
content such as
I
battle
don't think
tracks,
it will be.
character colors.
Oh yeah, that's
and
another issue. Another worry I have for Fire Emblem, by the way. I'm worried about the localization. I feel like the localization of Fire Emblem is, of course, because of what we've seen with previous Fire Emblem games, will be butchered to fucking hell.
Devil Breaker weapons for Nero are included. Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition launches on Nintendo Switch 2, June 23rd. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
Enter a mystical era deep in Japan's past. 6 souls determined to forge their own destinies.
So you're looking for some runaway ninja named Kisuke.
I like to play 4 again, but I replayed 4 about a year and a half ago. It still holds up. 4 is still fucking good.
Let's show we farmers have spirit.
This is actually a banger release.
7 days from now.
I'd start repenting if I were you.
What is this? Exclusive, or can I play this on Steam? If I play on Steam, I'm not going to bother with it, Catch you later, Aztec.
Demon blades. Muramasa, Revenant blades.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of these 3 Xenoblade Chronicles games are incoming.
Okay, this one kind of makes sense. If you're a Nintendo fan, you're probably a Xenoblade fan. Having all 3 Xenoblade games in one area, like one package, you can just hop into. I can see value in this for Switch 2 owners.
All All 3 games run at 60 frames
I
per
mean,
second.
you can get Devil May Cry 4
4K resolution in TV mode or Full HD in handheld mode. In-game cutscenes also have enhanced resolution and frame rate. Not only that.
All right, I will say, usually when they do those side-by-sides and whatnot, can't tell a fucking difference. And this isn't just a Switch thing. Like, anytime you've got, frankly, Sony's the worst about it. When Sony announced the PS5 Pro and they were putting, like, Ratchet and Clank right next to each other or Horizon Zero Dawn right next to each other, I'm like, dude, I can't tell a fucking difference. At least here, you can tell a difference. Again, I'll give credit where it's due. Nintendo hater or not, I'll give credit where it's due. One, like, the Switch 2 version looks objectively better.
Not only that. But you can travel on a high-speed vehicle in the first game. Control blades to fight mercenary squad battles in the second. And put your strength to the test against waves of enemies in the third.
Which copies are already out, or honestly doesn't make sense.
There's also a variety of other content added to each of the 3 games.
Well, I mean, again, if you have a Switch 2 and you want all 3 of these games in one place, better resolution, the whole 9, for Xenoblade fans, this does make sense. Like, if they're releasing all 3 games at once, I don't know if it's a package deal or if you have to buy each of them individually. I don't know how that aspect of it's going to work. But again, there's a lot of Xenoblade fans out there that I'm sure would love to just be able to have the convenience of all the games in one spot.
More details will be revealed at a later date.
Especially if there's additional content.
The digital version of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and the Upgrade Pack will be available later today. The physical version launches on July 30th. The Nintendo Switch 2 editions of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will be available on the
okay,
dates
you have to
shown
buy
on
each one
screen.
individually. That fucking sucks, but it is what it is. I'm not a fan of that.
ゼノブレイド3タイトルにスイッチ2エディションが登場します。それぞれに新たな遊びが追加されますので、ぜひご期待ください。そして、新生ゼノブレイドの物語が始まります。今回はその序章をお届けします。
I mean, August isn't that far away. August is in 2 months.
水も火も風も世界を構成するそのすべては大地を流れるアニマが形を変えたものだ。
Our style looks like Dragon Quest.
そして戦いを決するのは
And that doesn't look, the enemies don't know. What is this? Oh yeah, this is not Dragon Quest. That's not Dragon Quest character design.
この剣の名に恥じぬよう精進します。
Oh, new Xenoblade? Okay.
その石はアニマ小石。騎士の力を増幅させるだけでなく、そのものの行動や思いも刻みます。これからのあなたの学院生活のすべてが、その石と共にあると思ってください。
今日の訓練は実戦を想定してのものだ。
力の使い方、なんとなく分かった気がする。
騎士って人殺しの職業だ。
I don't think that's a Switch 2 thing. I think that's an art design thing. The FPS.
見つけてみない？
信仰を失った人の魂をドラゴンの炎で浄化することで罪が行われる。
Like, you see that all the time in anime-inspired games, regardless of the platform.
あいつ使えるぜ。小石なしで騎士の力。
生と死は全てはアニマと共にある。
帰るのさ、あの場所に。
さあ、始まるわよ。
Yeah, no problem.
兄上、行ってまいります。
Xenoblade, yeah, I mean, I'm not a Xenoblade fan, but it seems like Xenoblade fans are eating to go with this direct. I'll give credit that. Before I count 5 red flags with Nintendo Direct. That's all? Only 5?
破れた神の恨みが未だ晴らされてはいないこと。
Xenoblade Genesis. It looked good for Xenoblade fans. I never played. I played a little bit of the very first Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. I think it was the Wii. Maybe it was the Wii U. Either way, not a fan personally, but for you that are fans, it looks like it'll be good.
本作ではどのような物語が描かれるのか続報をお待ちください。
Nah, Paul, this has not been a good direct. It is not.
こちらをご覧ください。
Welcome to Woohoo Island, home to all kinds of sports.
Okay, so another
Coming to
resort
Nintendo
game.
Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, the latest game in the series. Use the Joy-Con 2 controllers as rackets, bows, or even handles.
Haven't played it yet. Should probably try. Yeah, let me know what you think.
choose
Again, I've not
all
played the
with
Xenoblade
intuitive
game.
motion controls. Let's go over them.
I'm gonna be real. This should have launched with been a pack in for the Switch 2. The Wii Sports was a pack in for the Wii, and frankly, Wii Sports is one of the best Wii games. It is unironically one of the best Wii games. This should have been a pack in for the Switch 2. This should have been a system seller. The fact they're releasing it so late in the Switch 2 life cycle as its own thing, I disagree. I mean, I bet it'll technically be fun. The Wii Sports games are, but this should have been a pack in with the Switch 2 on release.
Punch, guard, counter, and outmaneuver for the knockout in boxing.
The Wii is legitimately a
Make
great
quick shots
console.
to keep your opponent on their toes. In table tennis, aim for the center of the target and let that arrow fly. In archery, enjoy rallies with different types of shots in tennis. Bump, set, and spike in volleyball. Roll
If
the ball
Reggie
straight
was still
or
in
give it a
charge,
spin to
this
strike
would have released with the
in
Switch 2.
bowling.
I would
Dribble,
agree. I remember Wii Sports came out on the Wii when I got
and
1 year
shoot
back.
to-
Yeah, if Reggie was still in charge of Nintendo, this would have been a pack in with the Switch 2, would have been released out the gate. The meme is incoming. I've seen the meme. Is this where that's from? Okay.
Score in basketball. Adjust your shot's power, then swing your club in golf. Battle with one thumb to hand your opponent a defeat in thumb wrestling. Ride through the course using mouse controls in skateboarding.
Okay, you don't skateboard on grass. That is terrible.
Steer with handles and coast along the waves in power cruising.
Just give us a new wave race, god damn it. Just give us a new way. I get it. Everyone wants F-Zero to come back and shit. I see power cruising here. Just give us a new wave race, god damn it.
Tilt the controller
What up,
and
DJ
fly
Conic?
around freely in prop plane.
The whole Switch
Plus,
2 release was
you
a
can
mess,
warm up
not
for these
launching like
sports
anything in
with
Mario Kart.
Jump
I
Rope.
agree. Yeah,
You can
the
create
Switch
and
2
play
launch
as a
was
sportsman.
abysmal.
Or
Yeah, the
new
Wii days
character.
were great. This music still hits, though. The Wii Sports music still hits, son.
Enjoy playing all kinds of sports on Nintendo Switch 2.
Off-road skateboards.
Nintendo Switch
Maybe. I
Sports
don't know about none of
Resort
that.
launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2, October 22nd.
See, no one is. Here's the thing, man. No one is buying a Switch 2 for Wii Sports Resort. I'm sure this will be not Wii Sports, Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. I'm sure this will be fun. I actually have no doubts that you get some buddies together, you break this out, y'all have some drinks, play some fucking Nintendo Switch Sports. This would be a fun time. This is not buy a $500 fucking console fun time. It's not. This is why it should have been a pack-in. God, I miss Reggie.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
Yeah, Wii games were
任天堂ス
fucking
イッチ
great.
スポーツリゾートがスイッチ2に登場します。収録スポーツをすべてご覧いただきましたが、せっかくなので新種目グリズモをプレイしてみたいと思います。
Before the match, let's go over the rules. Hold down your opponent's thumb for 3 seconds, and you'll win. If yours gets pinned, just shake the controller to break free. And if you keep your thumb held down, it'll get bigger and stronger. 3, 2. You'll need this
Reggie
to
Fils-Aimé,
claim
but
your
okay.
指相撲。よろしくお願いします。はい、指が動いてますね。
What up, Tiger
こう
King?
いう感じで。
Round 1.
よろしくお願いします。はい。はい。お、いきなり。
3, 2, 1.
あ、ブレイクされました。これは。
The meme isn't coming from what I hear.
お、よしよしよしよし。ああ、またブレイクされちゃいました。こうやって押さえ込む。
There it is. Bro, the memes that have been made for that have been great. I'll see if I can pull some up after the direct. I'll see if I can pull some up after the direct because that, like, him doing the fucking that motion, there have been some golden memes but based on that.
大丈夫です。大丈夫ですよ。
Let's see if I can find some real quick while this is playing. Twitter. Nintendo Direct meme. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna pause the direct real quick. We're switching to this real quick. All right. Gold. Pure gold. Yeah. Dude, I can't be scrolling X, man. I can't be scrolling X. You gotta pre-screen some shit.
やられちゃいました。任天堂スイッチスポーツリゾートの発売までもうしばらくお待ちください。引き続きヘッドラインをご覧ください。
Survive a land ruled by dragons. The world of RuneScape comes to Nintendo Switch 2.
This is coming
An
to
ancient
everything,
power has
apparently. Like,
awakened
this
on the forgotten continent of Ashenfall.
Is RuneScape really still that big of a thing? No, you've not missed the Spellblade Crackouts yet.
On your
We'll be
journey
doing
to
that
face
after
the
the Switch
Dragon
Direct.
Queen. In this survival crafting adventure, delve into the mysteries of Ashenfall, amongst the ruins of fallen civilizations. On your expedition, harness the land's transformative magic.
Yeah, RuneScape. RuneScape is getting
gather
single-player
resources,
games now.
craft gear, and build shelter.
And to be fair,
Then,
it does actually
step
look like an
into
all-right
battle,
game. I'm not going to
forge
play it, but it
weapons,
does look like an all-right
sharpen
game.
your skills, and face the danger that awaits. Survive the wilds, unveil lost secrets, and challenge dragons in RuneScape Dragon Wilds, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 September 15th.
No worries. We'll definitely be
Check
talking
out
about
these
it.
games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Customize your own avatar and play in the...
Sevi is going to play this, isn't she? I'm sure that Sevi is going to go buck wild over this because she is a Hello Kitty stan, dog. Hun, if you're watching, let me know if I need to prepare myself or you lose yourself in this game.
Adorable world of Hello Kitty Partyland. Join the party with over 40 character-themed mini-games and several board games. There are over 140 Sanrio characters to meet.
And she will only play as one of them, and it's Karomi.
16 partner characters, collect stickers, and so much more. Hello Kitty Partyland launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch October 29th.
So let's get down there and finish the job.
Man, all right. I know we've all talked about Star Fox. We've all talked about the new Star Fox. I personally hate the designs. I do. I love everything else they've shown off about the game. I love everything else about the game. I am one of the haters of this fucking design, man.
Blast off for adventure across the Lilat system with Fox McCloud and his crew.
I have an aggressive go keychain hanging from my rear mirror in my car.
The fate of the galaxy begins. Star Fox launches on Nintendo Switch 2, June 25th.
Now, I will say they did nail it with a release date. When they announced this like a month ago or whatever, and then said it's coming June, we are 15. We are literally just over 2 weeks away. For Switch 2 owners, if you already own a Switch 2, this is absolutely worth a buy, I would say. I think this is absolutely worth a buy. Like, again, I don't own a Switch 2. I have no plans to buy a Switch 2. If for whatever reason I were to get one, this would be something I want to pick up. While I loathe the designs, the overhauled multiplayer, the visuals of the actual levels and whatnot, all that is so good. Damn, do I hate the designs.
A free demo that includes a tutorial and one of the game's opening stages will be available later today on Nintendo eShop.
Nice, a free demo. That's good. What Crystal won't be in the game. This is it's a remake of Star Fox 64. Crystal wasn't introduced till the next game, Star Fox Adventure, so Crystal won't be in the game.
Resonates within the crystals. Get ready for the first Final Fantasy game in HD 2D, Final Fantasy Resonance. This is Lapis, a vast world that has prospered through the power of crystals.
True, Garrett.
But after the invasion of the Veritas, this once thriving world lies on the brink of annihilation. Now Rain, a knight of Grandshelt, must journey across the realm with his companions to stop the Veritas. In thrilling turn-based battles, call upon
play this
visions.
one. I do. No, I'm liking this football. I wouldn't play it on. I wouldn't play it on Switch. But if it would come to Steam, I would absolutely play this.
Truth
100%.
behind the Veritas and the secrets
HD
the
2D
crystals hold.
Well, no. So here's the thing. HD 2D makes sense. Like when you play old games that were made for the CRT, they actually look way worse. They look way worse in HD because the scan lines in the CRT TV were made to fill in gaps, basically. Like the other way around. The pixel art and the 2D art of pre-HD games got filled in by the scan lines. So if you take a game that came out, a pixel or a 2D game that came out on the CRT TV eras and put in HD, it looks atrocious. So when they make these HD 2Ds, it basically fixes that problem. So HD 2D actually does make perfect sense. Look at the HD trash squares pumped out in the Final Fantasy VII remake. I have not. Yeah. In terms of you're talking about the actual remake, yeah. Final Fantasy VII remakes are fucking dog shit.
Final Fantasy Resonance launches on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch October 22nd.
Yeah, this looks good. If this comes out on a platform that's not
a weird,
Switch 2,
whimsical world is waiting. Pikuniku returns in a new 3D puzzle exploration adventure. What do giant fruit, malevolent robot frogs, and an all-powerful potato have in common? Nothing.
You mean
other than a shadowy conspiracy, of course. Meet a cavalcade of curious characters.
I could not give a fuck less about this. I don't even know what we're looking at right now. The mobile game becomes a game.
A seemingly happy world lies a sinister plot to squeeze the locals for all they're worth. Time to join the resistance. By using Piku's surprising abilities, help solve the people's problems in surprising and downright oddball ways.
Gotcha.
Feeling baffled by these affable denizens? Embrace these strange encounters and bring about an ultimate understanding.
I appreciate people giving me games that have a good
navigate and explore in full 3D as you discover
when
the
it's a
secrets
Cubert
of this
remake.
vivid,
Damn, that's
colorful
diabolical.
world. Get ready to wander, solve, and gossip in Pikuniku 2, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 next year.
We're making the fucking robot frogs gay.
Prepare for an all-new
Okay, we get
monster-filled
Dragon Quest.
adventure.
I'm cool with that.
Two girls find themselves lost in the kingdom of Witherwood. There, they gain the power to turn monsters into friends. Spot a monster you fancy? Scout it! Win it over and it'll fight by your side.
It doesn't look anything like overly complex or whatnot, but I enjoy Dragon Quest. I would play this.
Synthesize two monsters to create more powerful allies.
It's like a nice little cross between Dragon Quest and Pokemon.
Now,
I can appreciate
take
this.
on the most
I know people who
fearsome
squeeze
of
this
foes
Dragon Quest game.
with
I don't know
a
that I
team
go that
that's
far.
uniquely your own.
But like a nice little crossover between like the ideas of Pokemon and Dragon Quest. Actually, more less than Pokemon, more like Monster
And it's
Rancher.
monstrously fun. Dragon Quest Monsters, the Withered World.
New Zealand's a prequel, which means a decade wait
tiny
before.
boy.
Here's makes me think of Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, they're actually showing off Duskbloods?
Sovereign's honor.
I think this is a place where me and Hypno disagree. I think this is a place where me and Hypno disagree. Hypno was saying that no Souls player ever is going to give a fuck about Duskbloods. I disagree. I think that putting a Nintendo exclusive From Software game is actually a great move for From Software. I think this will sell decently well. Like amongst Switch 2 owners, like obviously there's not a whole lot of Switch 2s out there. Not a lot of people fucking have a Switch 2. Let's be real. Switch 2 ain't sold that well. But for people that already have it, I think they'll pick this up. A, because they're happy to have an exclusive. B, I think they'll be happy to have an exclusive that's not one of the first party games. And C, FromSoft games have grown so mega popular. I think this will sell pretty well. And I think it's cool to see a FromSoft game on a Nintendo platform.
We are monsters, each vying for blood.
What up, Kalika?
You're finally here. Worthy spirit.
Never a good idea. All they're doing is cutting out customers, nothing else. Good. Good. I want that. Gaming is not every game is for everybody. I want some motherfuckers cut out. Exclusives are always good. I don't ever want to see Mario or Zelda or anything like that on a platform that's not Nintendo. Exclusives generate competition in the market. Competition in the free market is always a good thing.
いかがでしたか？続いてはお宝ハントに繰り出すあのタイトルの続報です。
Hey everyone, here is some fresh news about Splatoon Raiders, a new single-player focused adventure.
I don't think anybody cares about Splatoon.
Check out
I
this
certainly don't.
true
I'm skipping the trailer. It
This
seems
comes in,
incredibly
the
long.
exploration
We're
bomb.
skipping all this.
A member of Deep Cut pilots it during your treasure hunt.
Deltarune on Switch. I mean, this is way too late. Mario on Xbox, imagine. Too bad Sonic can't be. Yeah, if Sonic was exclusive, that's the thing. I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog simp. I am, dude. If they released a Sonic game, Switch exclusive, as long as it was actually a good game, not talking like no spin-off like fucking Crossworlds or something. If they released a mainline Sonic game and they said Switch exclusive, fucking I'm buying a Switch. Exclusives are distinctly anti-competitive and they're exclusively avoiding competition. No, that you are, that's absolutely retarded. everybody getting together and circle jerking and fucking putting their games on every platform does not breed competition, because that means all these devs are talking with each other and hanging out and getting buddy-buddy. Rivalry breeds competition. When you had back in the day, when you had to choose between fucking Killzone or Halo, you had to choose between Jack and Daxter or Mario. That bred competition. These devs need to work harder to outdo each other, to outsell each other, to out-idea each other. No, it inherently breeds competition in the market, because now you've got rival devs. They're each trying to make a better product, because only one game is only going to be on one console, one game is only going to be on the other, and they have to sell you as the consumer as to which choice you're going to make. That inherently is competition. That is absolutely better. You're retarded and don't understand how the free market works. Holy shit. Yeah, and is Leon's right? Of course I am. I'm always right. I'm always right. I love Nintendo too. I just hate what they've become.
Awaken your power.
Heed me, O kingless. Whosoever hath truly earned the greatest faith of
like
the
cars,
citizenry
each brand has their
shall
own. Yes,
ascend
exactly.
the throne and
Exactly.
crown by right of kings.
In their defense, some people don't care about playing some games on PC because they don't require a lot of graphics on some things. No. It's not about graphical. Here's the thing. PC gaming is not about graphical performance. I mean, it can be. That's an aspect to it, but that's not all there is. PC gaming is ultimately the fucking best because of the sheer freedom. You've got modding. You've got the ability to dump your files. You've got, again, there is the graphical fidelity aspect. Like, it's just the sheer freedom to do whatever you want to do. Frankly, I don't give a fuck about graphics. I bought Sonic Shadow Generations on my Switch so I could have it on my Switch. I also have it on Steam. I play it on Steam 99% of the time. I play it on the fucking Switch when I travel. Like, it's the whole reason I have Sonic Generations on Steam is not for performance. It's so I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. If I decide that I want to mod in a Sonic the Hedgehog that looks like he's got the adventure era model to him, or the Sonic R model to him from the fucking Sega Saturn, that's what I'm doing it for absolute freedom.
King shall be decided by the will of the people. By
You
decree
that
of the
argument
king.
for first party, not third. But here's the if these companies make these financial deals with publishers, with these first party individuals, then they have like when Capcom did it back in the day with the GameCube. Now that ended up being a mistake for Capcom because it was for a console that wasn't selling, and frankly, it might be a mistake for Switch in this instance because it's something that isn't selling. But if you've got a third party developer that makes a deal with a publisher and they want to maintain that exclusivity, they have to work that hard to maintain the quality of their games to continue getting the money from these publishers. Now, again, making this a raw deal, Nintendo, I mean, this could just be, for nothing else, a fuck you to Sony, since Sony won't do anything with Bloodborne. If that's their goal, if this is literally just a fuck you to Sony, I'm A-okay with a middle finger to Sony.
As his face floats in the sky, the tournament for the throne
That's like
begins.
number 7 on Metaphor.
As the realm grapples with its first ever election, those vying for the throne put their plans
this game's 2
into
years
action.
old. There's no reason it should come to Switch.
As
I
one
agree.
of the
People
throne's
aren't going to be buying on
candidates,
Switch.
you'll
I agree.
travel
It's a red
across
flag.
the kingdom,
Being
forging
PC
bonds
and
with
being
compelling
notoriously picky, I'm
characters
taking my
along the way.
time which one to choose.
Various enemies stand in your path.
This battle's ours.
There are monsters roaming this world, as well as other candidates and strange
is a new
beasts known as humans. Control your destiny and change the world.
Doesn't
in
look like it.
Metaphor Refantasio.
No, this is not a new game.
Launching
Metaphor
on
came out
Nintendo
2 years
Switch
ago.
2, November 12th. Create, explore, survive.
Nobody cares about Minecraft.
Is on Switch.
I'm
Nintendo
skipping.
launches on this year.
You don't need exclusivity for competition. If there are two games of the same genre at the same time, there's the competition no matter the platform. Except for games nowadays suck because they're all the fucking same. So there is no competition. Like there is no competition because of the state that AAA gaming is in. Now, I can agree with you if your argument was indie gaming, but let's be real. What's the fucking competition between God of War Laundry and a new Horizon game that would also be on PlayStation? And they're both going to come to Steam in a year. Like, if gaming wasn't in the situation it was in now, I might agree with you. But nah, there is no competition because all these devs are doing the exact same thing, and they're all going to the GDC together, and they're all circle jerking and agreeing with each other. There's no talent pool. Everyone's using fucking Unreal Engine 5 instead of their own in-house engines. I mean, look, as much as I hate modern Capcom, at least they're using the Reach for the Moon engine instead of just fucking using Unreal Engine 5 for everything. Sega's got the Hedgehog engine for their Sonic games. Like, we're in such a shit place with first party AAA devs on pretty much throughout the entirety of the scene. I can't agree with that. I agree there's no competition in AAA, but that's because isn't because of exclusivity or lack of it. It's due to a cultural shit. I mean, you say that. They announced God of War E-Day, and Walmart threw up on their website that you were going to be able to get for PlayStation 5, and people got all excited, and then it got yanked down. Guess what? There's going to be a lot of people buying Xbox now because they want God of War E-Day. And I think that was a smart move for Xbox. Now, whether the game will be good or not, that's, there. I don't really know. I think it looks good. A lot of people are having issues with it. I think God of War E-Day looks good. But no, this is it would have happened with or without exclusivity. And they're tied together. The lack of exclusivity is also part of the cultural shift. When you have these devs circle jerking, that's changes, and then like putting all their games on all their platforms, that is also part of the cultural shift. Now, I agree there's more factors to it than just exclusivity, but that is a factor. Warhorse uses the Cry engine. Did you hear that Ayaka mods under DDoS stack? Nah, I don't even know what Ayaka mods is. Or the Steam is discounting the hard copy gift card. Oh, discontinuing? I had not heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Vescabino, I couldn't get into the Gears of War games either from a gameplay perspective because I was trying to play them solo. According to some of my Hypno, Wizard, they're like, nah, dude, that's a game you play co-op. Now, I loved hanging out with my buddies and watching them play Gears of War. I didn't like Gears of War because I was trying to solo it, but apparently it's a much better experience in co-op. So I'm willing to play Gears again if I can do a co-op with people. I love the story and world of Gears of War. Just never really was a fan of the gameplay. Most time I'll play games solo. Me too. The only time I really do co-op is with Hypno when we do our co-op stream, which I love. It's a blast. I'm more of a single player person. Tales of Eternity Remastered? Nice. Love Gears. I did it solo. It is better than full squad. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Rival group and Nexus mod. Gotcha.
The battle of light and darkness approaches.
All right, here it is. Kingdom Hearts 4. I've not seen this trailer yet. I've seen a little bit of the gameplay. I've seen a little bit of the gameplay on X. Now, I'll be real. I wasn't impressed, but let's see.
Filled with memorable adventures,
Three
collections of Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
That's the only one.
Traverse through iconic Disney and Pixar worlds. Befriend all sorts of magical allies.
My excitement is zero.
And battle enemies in action RPG combat. Relive these stories or experience them for the first time alongside Sora and his friends as they fight the darkness. If you have the cloud versions on Nintendo Switch, you can transfer your existing save data to these Nintendo Switch 2 games. These 3 collections launch on
Everything having
Nintendo
been said, I'll
Switch
also
2
admit some bias here.
October
I do
8th.
try to be objective as a purely PC gamer. I
A
can't
bundle
pretend.
with all 3
I'm also mostly purely a PC gamer. The only exception being that, like, I'm a Nintendo fan. I don't have a Switch 2 because I'm very, very upset spaghetti at Nintendo. I'm a Smash player more than anything, so like I will absolutely get down on Smash Bros, go to tournaments, the whole 9. But beyond that, yeah, I'm a PC player as well, and it's purely because of the freedom. Purely because of the freedom.
Kingdom Hearts Collection 1.
People were throwing a fit on X saying that this is AI, or it was like they used AI to enhance it or whatnot. Who fucking cares? I'm gonna be real. Who fucking cares?
Through 3 also launches October 8th. Additionally, a free demo of Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind will be available later today on Nintendo eShop.
Alright, here's the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer.
私たちが定義する光と闇を具現化したものは存在しなかった。
I bet they removed the Final Fantasy characters. I would assume they're coming back in this. Tetsuya Nomura was real pissed off at like Square and Disney, and so he like took the Final Fantasy characters out of Kingdom Hearts 3 basically as a fuck you. I think that's pretty over at this point. Projection doesn't look like AI. I don't know if it is or isn't, but if it is, I don't fucking care.
この世界に来たことで、この世界にも私たちの定義する闇が現れた。
I mean, I do like me some kaiju. It's the only kind of Jews I like. All right, so I'm gonna be real. They're gonna have to work real hard to impress me with this game, and I don't know they're gonna be able to do it. I don't know they're gonna be able to do it. This is a complete criticism of Square. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kingdom Hearts 3 is arguably the most disappointing video game launch I've ever experienced. Kingdom Hearts 3 is right up there with Fallout 76, maybe even worse. Maybe I kind of hate Kingdom Hearts 3 and my experience with Kingdom Hearts 3 more than Fallout 76 because we waited for like 13 years for this shit and they came out with that sad slop of a game. And I don't mean slop the way people use slop now, because slop is an overused term. When I say slop of a game, I mean like it felt like just a wet mop on the fucking franchise. It was so bland and boring. Nowhere near as bad as 76 outside. No, it is. I would say it is worse because it is a bad game in and of itself. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a boring game with a terrible story. They cut so many corners. Like not only did it take 13 years to release, but it cut so many so many content, so many ideas. It is an embarrassment to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. I loathe Kingdom Hearts 3. So they're going to have to work double time to try and get me on board with Kingdom Hearts 4. I haven't played the game yet. I bought the Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC and still need to play and experience it. You really don't, honestly. Do this. Watch the cutscenes. You've experienced the game. It is dog shit. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a dog shit game, regardless of how long it took to release. It's quite the take, not gonna lie. Sort of the reverse for me. I was underwhelmed Fallout 76 beta test, ended up hating it. Meanwhile, somehow I got my fill. Man, that's wild. To be fair, Systems as a super big fan of Kingdom Hearts. And like, I was already jaded on Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I do. I adore Kingdom Hearts 2. I like Kingdom Hearts 1 when it came out. Now 2 is so much better than 1. I've never really gotten back to 1. I hate most of the spinoffs. I do. I hate most of the Kingdom Hearts spinoffs. So for me, it was really like, it was Kingdom Hearts 3 or bust. And let me tell you, they busted. Not in the good way.
いかがでしたか？次が最後のタイトルになります。こちらの映像をご覧ください。
All right, here it is. Will this sell me on a Switch 2? The only thing I've seen from the Ocarina of Time remake is that still image that I used on the thumbnail today. Somehow I managed to exist on X yesterday and not be spoiled by the trailer. I got spoiled that it was announced, but I didn't get spoiled on the trailer, thank God. Now, for those of y'all that don't know me, I'm a Zelda mega fan, boys. I'm a Zelda mega fan. And I am very nervous about this. I'm not going to say I'm negative about it. I don't know. I'm legit going in with an open mind. But this is a remake of genuinely one of the greatest video games ever made. Ocarina of Time, it's arguably the single greatest video game ever made. Doing a remake of this is a very ballsy move. And I don't know if I trust modern Nintendo to do it. I don't. We'll see.
Long ago, there was a land called Hyrule, created by beings of supreme divinity. At the very edge of this kingdom, there lay a small forest. Within it, an ancient solitary tree quietly watched over the inhabitants of the forest. These forest dwellers were called the Kokiri. Each had a fairy companion, and they lived out their innocent lives in these woods. However, there was one particular boy who did not have a fairy.
All right, now let's take a look at some details here. Sideburns, I do think are a little odd. I don't like that's more of an adult Link thing. It's doing the classic intro. He's in bed. He's having the nightmare. So, like, story-wise, at least it's not doing what Code Veronica remake is fucking doing, which is completely altering the story. So far, it looks like that's intact. I don't hate Young Link's design. I do find the outfit choice a little weird. And this is something I've hated since Breath of the Wild. This is something I've hated since Breath of the Wild. Getting rid of the green tunic. I mean, that is the iconography of the hero. That is the iconography of the hero. Getting rid of that in Breath of the Wild and just making it like something you get at the very end if you do all the shrines or like old heroes' outfits because of the amiibos. I don't like that. Now, if this starts and like Link gets his tunic within the first few minutes, all right, we're good. If Link gets his tunic within the first hours of the game when you're doing like your Kokiri tutorial and stuff, we're good. But if they remove the hero's tunic, no, I'm not nitpicking. I'm not, because I've had this issue since Breath of the Wild. This has been an issue I've had for literally a decade at this point. If they remove the classic green tunic from Ocarina of Time, I will never play this game. There's already an Unreal Engine 5 fan-made remake of Ocarina of Time that's amazing. I'll just fucking play that. If they change the iconography of the Hero of Time from the greatest game ever made, I will have an issue. That being said, they might not do it. This could just be for the beginning of the game. Because, like, Twilight Princess doesn't have it at the beginning. You go through all your little farm boy stuff for the first, hour and a half of the game. You don't get the green tunic until after the first time you transform into a wolf. And when you turn back into a human, then he has the hero's garb. If they do something similar to this here, we're good. But if they change the Hero of Time, and I know it seems like such a dumb thing, but that was my biggest gripe with Breath of the Wild, transfers over to Tears of the Kingdom, is the removal of the iconography that makes Link. It is such a big deal to me. Please tell me we get gameplay. Please tell me it's not just that. Tell me we get gameplay. I didn't catch that. Did he ever go back to being left-handed? The Triforce was on his left hand, wasn't it? Yes, the Triforce was on his left hand. So, good. Give me back left-handed Link. That's a plus. Good call. This year and no gameplay? What?
ゼルダの伝説
Will be reborn on Nintendo Switch 2. Is there anything else?
任天堂スイッチ2で蘇ります。詳細については
More details will be
改め
announced
て
in
お
the
伝えしますの
future.
でしばらくお待ちください。
Please report in. All right.
本日の任天堂ダイレクトは
That's all for today's Nintendo. All right, so we're done with the direct. We've got more stuff we're gonna cover, but that's all for Nintendo Direct. Obviously I need to see gameplay. Here's the deal breakers, right? Here's the deal breakers. If they change Link's tunic, I've already gone my diatribe about that. If they change even a single fucking detail with the combat, with the story, with the censorship, anything, then it's not Ocarina of Time. If I'm playing Ocarina of Time, I just want it to be with modern graphical updates, maybe some quality of life changes. That's it. Like that quality of life shit, graphical update. That's it. You don't change the fucking music. You don't change the fucking gameplay. You don't change none of Link's goddamn outfits. You don't change none of the fucking NPCs, because this is Ocarina of Time. This is the greatest, arguably greatest game ever made. There is not a single thing you can do beyond graphical updates and audio updates in terms of like re-recording the audio to make it, for modern sound systems and whatnot, that could improve this game. Are you getting a Switch 2 now? No. This did not sell me on a Switch 2. And frankly, I'm glad Ocarina of Time's coming out this year. I need to see more. I was just listing the things that they're deal breakers. If there is any changes to Ocarina of Time, any at all, story, gameplay, lore, anything, then I'm not getting this game. And I'm not getting Switch 2. If this is a direct remake that is just graphical and audio enhancements, if you want to do extra content, that's fine. But there needs to be no cut content or altered content. You can add content, no cut content, no altered content, no censoring the Gerudo women, no changes to the lore, nothing. Because again, this is Ocarina of Time is one of the most important video games to the history of gaming. There's only a handful of games out there that truly ever changed gaming. Tetris changed gaming. Super Mario Bros. Changed gaming. Halo changed gaming. Ocarina of Time changed gaming. World of Warcraft changed gaming. You can count maybe 10 video games throughout the history of all of video games that have had this level of impact of Ocarina of Time. This needs to be perfect. Anything short of perfection I will not buy it. I will not buy a Switch 2. Nothing. That is my bar. And I don't give a fuck if that's a high bar. We're talking about Ocarina of Time. So hopefully that answers your question, Wiz. I agree. This is Nintendo's Chrono Trigger. This is not a game they can afford to screw up if they're going to... Correct. I 1000% agree. I don't think that no gameplay is a bad sign, though. And here's why. Because Ocarina of Time is such a massive game. Huge. Massive. It deserves like its own direct. Do the reveal here. Give us that little fucking teaser. That's fine. Ocarina of Time needs its own dedicated direct. And really, you could just do a direct that is as Legend of Zelda, because I'm pretty sure this year, this year is the 40th anniversary of Zelda. This year is the 40th anniversary of Zelda. So the fact that they're doing this actually does make sense. But I mean, dude, we're talking 40 years. Zelda is almost a half a century old. At this point, you've got to bring it. So give us a Zelda Direct. Focus on other Zelda things for the 40th anniversary, and have your crowning jewel be all the information about Ocarina of Time. So, and then I will be satisfied with the lack of gameplay in this trailer. I hope they don't make it a Capcom remake. You and me both. I'll be 44 this year. Honestly, didn't think I'd live this long. I guarantee they'll censor the Gerudos. The graphics are updated, and they were pretty scantily clad. There's definitely going to be some bodysuits. And again, if that happens, no buy. No purchase for me. I will not do it. I do not bow and kowtow to censorship. I won't allow for it. Like, nah, that is a the movie is next year. I'm very excited for the movie. I've been one of the few people who have been super pro live action Zelda. I think The Legend of Zelda will work brilliantly in live action. We'll have to see. But yeah, they do a Zelda Direct, give us more information on the movie. Like, maybe say, hey, the Zelda Symphony is touring or whatever, like Sonic is doing for his 35th anniversary. And give us Ocarina of Time. Like, you could have a very strong Nintendo Direct that is just Zelda. But man, they got to bring the heat with Ocarina. I am worried. I'm genuinely worried. But if it lands, if Ocarina of Time sticks the landing, I will buy a Switch 2. If Ocarina of Time sticks the landing, I will buy a Switch 2. I do think that with that as the crown jewel, and then all the other things beneath it, Pokopia, Star Fox, things that Fire Emblem, that will finally make a Switch 2 worth it. Whew. That was nerve-wracking, boys. That was nerve-wracking. I'm waiting to see if Wizard has any other comments before I go on to the next topic. We'll cover the Stellar Blade stuff next, but I want to see if Wizard has any other comments before I move on. I don't trust Nintendo. I don't either. Like, I just... Nintendo is not the same company they were in the Wii era and back. Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii, Nintendo were kings. You're gay? Final comment? Yep, that sounds about like Wiz. I got so many Asmon fans in my video. Dude, the comments in my video are fucking hilarious. Like, I got some of the ultimate Asmon haters in the comments of my video, and I got so many Asmon stands in the comments of my video. My comment section from yesterday's video is a fucking war zone, and it's fucking glorious. It's beautiful. I love it. War away. Give me that engagement. Excellent. Even in Sixth the Landing, I won't buy a Switch 2 yet. Pokemon is dead to me. Fire Emblem could be nice, but they're too far between. Love Metroid, but screw Prime 4. Never been a Mario fan. And and that's fine. And that's like my three favorite franchises when it comes to gaming of all time are Resident Evil, Sonic the Hedgehog, and The Legend of Zelda. So Legend of Zelda alone if done perfectly, and I mean it's gotta be perfect, is enough for me to pull the trigger. Now, I like Mario. I like Star Fox. I like Pokemon. I like Metroid, but I agree with you. Fuck Metroid Prime 4. I will never play that piece of shit. Those are all just sort of like side dishes to the main course being Zelda. But I am that big of a Zelda fan. Pokemon is just a course on life support. Well, the thing is, the reason that Pokopia gets a pass is it's not Nintendo. Because I agree with you. Pokemon's dog shit in its current state. But Koei Tecmo did Pokopia, so I'll give it the pass. That's the only thing selling me on the Switch too is Star Fox. I love Star Fox as a kid, but one game just ain't enough. I mean, Nintendo usually only does one like major game per for its flagship franchises per console. Like it'll do a bunch of spin-offs and whatnot. Zelda getting Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom was kind of the exception to the rule being on the Switch. Most of their big flagship IPs usually only get one entry, one like mainline entry. I'm pretty sure because we only had like one mainline Mario game on the Switch. We only had one mainline Mario game on the GameCube. I don't know about the Wii. No, we got a couple. We had Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Sonic has been Nintendo exclusive. Rush, Storybook Colors, Lost World, and Boom. I mean, Sonic has not been Nintendo exclusive. Sonic's never been Nintendo exclusive. Sonic has had a few Nintendo exclusive games, but ever since Sega dissolved in terms of hardware, Sonic has been third party or like multi-plat. Because Heroes was on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Shadow the Hedgehog was on all three as well. Sonic 06 was on PlayStation and Xbox, while the Storybook games were the Nintendo exclusives. So Sonic as an IP has never been exclusive. Just certain games were. And Lost World was not an exclusive. Or, well, maybe it started as an exclusive. It's not exclusive anymore. Yeah, the advanced games. There was no other, like, well, yeah, the advanced games were exclusive to the Game Boy Advance, but then you had the Rivals games that were on PSP. I had Sonic Heroes on 360. It was never released for 360, unless you're talking about, like, backwards compatibility. Because, like, Sonic Heroes came out in 2006. It was literally, if it wasn't a launch title for the Xbox, it was within the Xbox, like, first few months. Or maybe it was not 2006. Sorry, 2003. I don't know why I said 2006. Sorry, I meant 2003. You did not have Sonic Heroes on 360 unless you're talking backwards compatibility. Curious they'll reveal Luigi's Mansion 4. I've not played any Luigi's Mansion except the first one. Whichever one lets you run around with three people. Yeah, which is Sonic Heroes. But if you played it on 360, that would have been backwards compatibility as an Xbox game. It was never released on 360 as a 360 game. So you may have played it on 360, but it was an Xbox game. Alrighty. Alright, let's get into this next video. When will they finally learn? Now, I've not watched a background NPC video in a while, and I love her content. I do. I love her content. Some people say she's astroturfed and whatnot. I don't think she is. I think that Asmongold just happened to find her, and she blew up because of that. But either way, I love her content. Let's see what she got to say, because the thumbnail to this was comparing God of War Laundry to Stellar Blade 2. Let's get into it. Let's see what she got to say about Stellar Blade.
The very first video I ever posted on this channel was called The Problem with Women in Games and Why It's Killing Hype. Over the last year, we have come back to this topic several times and I have expanded on my thoughts, but you know, a very small optimistic part of me was kind of hoping that by now it would begin to fade into obscurity, become a distant memory. Well, if last week has shown us anything, unfortunately, that is not the case. But before we get into all of that,
this will be the only time I address this. So I want to focus on the video. I don't like breaking away from videos to talk about off-topic shit. This will be the only time I do this today. Can you please think about reviewing Code Veronica like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 9 so we can get a full take on the game? I will not purchase this game. I'm not asking you guys to purchase it for me, mind you. I don't like doing that. I'm just saying that if somebody gifts it to me, I will play it for review purposes. But I refuse to give Capcom money for this game. I flat out refuse. So that is what I'll say on it. I'm not asking you guys to do it. If you want to, feel free. If not, that's cool as well. But no, I will not be playing and reviewing it if I spend money on it, because it is not. I cannot justify playing that game or giving Capcom money just to do a review.
There actually was a ton that happened this past week. We saw lots of updates, news, reveals, and there is so much that I am excited about. First being Jeff Keighley's High Guard Redemption arc, which even though the feed was stutter maxing almost
out the gate, I think she's being too generous. I don't know that we would consider... Did anybody get the vibe from Summer Game Fest that this was Jeff Keighley's redemption arc? Because I didn't get that vibe whatsoever. It seemed like his don't talk about it, it never happened, we're just going to pretend it never happened arc.
Almost the entire live stream, he got off to a great start by completely mogging both the State of Play and Xbox Showcase. Summer Game Fest opened up on Resident Evil Veronica, which is very exciting. I cannot wait.
You make me angry, background NPC. Angry. I love your content, but you're a fucking moron if you're excited for this game.
For this remake, you guys probably know if I had to pick a AAA dev that I think is really crushing it right now, it would be Capcom. They have been on such a roll lately. We saw the reveal for Final Fantasy VII Revelation, the third.
I don't think she's a shill. I just don't think she understands why these remakes are so fucking egregious. Because you gotta understand, a lot of these games, a lot of these Resident Evil games are 25 years old or more, right? A lot of these Resident Evil games are 25. Like, I think the newest one would be Resident Evil 4, and that is 20 years old, 21 years old at this point. I don't think she's a shill. I think that she is young, didn't play the originals, therefore doesn't know why they're so bad. Like, I don't want to jump to just accusing people of being shills. Someone like Sphere Hunter is a shill. Bought and paid for by Capcom. Bought and paid for by Capcom. Does Capcom events. Is invited to all the things. Gets the games for free. 1000% Sphere Hunter's a shill. Background NPC, I think, is just ignorant.
And final part of the remake trilogy, and learned that the lovely Tifa is joining Street Fighter. Monster Hunter Wilds is getting its big expansion. POW World is finally hitting 1.0 on July 10th, and I just know Nintendo was coping hard watching Jeff in the audience hype it up so much.
Agree
the
with
Blood
her
of Dawn
there.
Walker, the vampire RPG
Agree
from
with her there. I don't believe she's organic. That's for damn sure. I do. I 100% do. I think she got super lucky, and that happens with people. I think she got super lucky. She was a nobody. And Asmongold watches videos from nobodies all the time. Well, not all the time, but it has been known to happen where someone will post a video in his Reddit or whatever. He'll review it. They'll blow up. Frankly, it happened to Kata. Like Kata got a huge boost after Asmongold. Kata got a massive boost after Asmongold. I think that's just what happened to her. Is the same thing that happened to Kata. Asmongold saw her video when she had, next to no following, and then she, blew the fuck up. She's been consistent about making content. Like, I think that it was just a case of, right time, right place, right time. Sphere Hunter is a full-on butt only shill. Yes, correct.
Witcher Crew is coming this September, along with any other game that has apparently ever been made, but it looks great. On Amusha, Way of the Sword showed up at State of Play. I played through the demo and I enjoyed it, although Capcom,
Agreed.
I do have to ask, what are we doing with that chatty inanimate gauntlet? Making me a little nervous.
Being young doesn't justify not playing a history of a franchise you claim to love. I'm 19. I went back and played. Well, again, I'm not saying... You guys are misunderstanding. I'm not saying she isn't wrong. I'm saying I don't think she is a shill. Like, the word shill is one of the few words that so far hasn't lost meaning. We like woke has lost meaning. Slop has lost meaning. Racist, misogynist, Nazi, they've all lost meaning. Shill still means something. So if we just start lobbing the term shill willy-nilly with no evidence, then that is not a good thing. I've seen zero evidence that she is a shill. That doesn't mean she's not objectively wrong. As I said, or that she's ignorant. I think she's 1000% ignorant. I'm only pushing back on claiming that she is a shill because I don't see any evidence that she is a shill. To me, it's evidence of, yeah, pedo is losing meaning. Exactly. One of the most important words that should not lose meaning is losing fucking meaning. 1000%. But I've seen no evidence she's a shill. To me, it looks like she got lucky, right place, right time. No different than Kata with Asmongold reacting to him. I'm not gonna call Kata a shill unless it's for fucking Halo.
Very quick aside here, this actually reminds me of one of my minor complaints about Pragmata. Even though I love the game, you and Diana did not give you a moment of silence. Stellar Blade Blood Rain was announced, and I am very excited for this. And of course, we will be coming back to Eevee in just a bit. Mortal Shell 2 beta is out.
See, if she was a shill, I don't think she'd be excited for Stellar Blade, for Stellar Blade 2. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm playing through that now. It's pretty impressive so far. Alien Isolation 2 is finally happening 12 years later, and it looks incredible. Well,
I'm not a Sonic shill. I'm a Sonic simp. I'm not paid to promote Sonic. That's the thing, guys. Shills, like, and I get you making it as a joke, but actually it leads into a good explanation here. Shills are paid to promote stuff, whether they agree with it, whether they believe in it, whether they actually love it or whatnot. Shills are people that are industry paid, whether it be in monetary value, goodie bags, free games, whatever, to promote shit positively, regardless of what their actual feelings on the subject are. That is why I don't think she is a shill. I've never seen her. I've never seen evidence she does that. I'm not a Sonic shill whatsoever. I'm a Sonic simp. I'm not paid in any way, shape, or form to do it, although I admit that I would love to be, and I would absolutely take that fucking shill money for Sonic the Hedgehog. I definitely would. Let's keep it real. I would. That being said, and frankly, I call out bad Sonic stuff way too much. So,
will IGN give this game another 6? I don't know. Only time will tell. We got another look at Beast of Reincarnation from Game Freak. Yes, the Pokemon studio. You'll play as Emma, so I'm very excited to adventure as her and her wolf companion named Ku this August. Xbox did a whole deep dive on Gears of War E-Day, which is an Xbox exclusive, but it is still coming to PC. We got a brand new Spyro in the works. There is the remake of Halo 1 coming.
Whoa. Hold on. I didn't see this. That's why he didn't defend me at Zizu. This had better be a joke. This had better be a joke, because not only did I make dozens of posts on the Mia thing, I also covered it on stream. I was also one of the very first people to defend her originally, and Mia and I were talking on Discord last night and the night before last. So you better be joking, because I have been one of the most vocal advocates for Mia, to the point where her and I are like legit cool with each other. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were trolling because I didn't know if you'd seen the post or the stream. I actually wasn't sure if that was a troll or not.
Persona 6 was officially announced, along with the reveal of Persona 4 Revival. We saw more of Fable, which I didn't even realize was Fable for like the first half of the trailer, but the more I see of this game, the less excited I am for it. I'm so sorry. In my opinion, it is just feeling more and more like a generic Western fantasy slop. To be fair, though, I do think what we saw of Haley Atwell's performance as Isabelle was really good. And while I personally feel like she actually looks a bit closer to her normal self and better than literally any other character that we saw in that whole trailer,
no shade to him.
Western devs just cannot help themselves. It is actually crazy to see how they keep failing these beautiful Hollywood actresses, which, speaking of, it is not anything new and definitely not new to the Fable franchise, but AAA continually hiring these big Hollywood actors for these massive projects cannot be cheap in an industry that is actively struggling and raising costs on everything.
Where's the lie? Frankly, aside from her Code Veronica take so far, she has been correct about everything else. Aside from her dogshit Code Veronica take, she has been right about everything else.
I legitimately cannot believe Jack Quaid was actually used to mocap or block for the Cube in God of War. Why didn't they just have someone else stand in for that? Why does that character exist in the first place? I don't know, but like I said at the start, this week has been a lot. But the one announcement that we just have to talk about right off the bat is, of course, State of Play's big reveal, God of War Laufey. The new mainline God of War game confirmed by Sony themselves that does not feature the God of War. And I knew as soon as this game was revealed, any feedback or criticism surrounding the creative decisions, the sidelining of Kratos in his own franchise was immediately going to be overtaken by the gamers hate women crowd, and it has been very interesting to see how it has.
I love how nice she tries to be in her language. Like, she seems like such a sweet person. When she says things like, it's been interesting to see, we know what she means. I get the vibe that she just would feel bad for being so mean and whatnot. She just doesn't have the mean bone in her like the rest of us do. So she's like, it's been we know what she means. She means, my God, these bitches are fucking annoying. But she's just so sweet, she's not going to say it like that.
Has evolved from you're sexist, you're just a gooner chud, to, you know what? If you'd rather play as Kratos in your God of War game, you're actually just gay. The discourse is basically a Hydra at this point.
Wait. Did she really just say that? Hold on.
Just a gooner chud, to, you know what? If you'd rather play as Kratos in your God of War game, you're actually just gay. The discourse.
The smile, the little ding sound effect, the deadpan blue, that was... Women are rarely funny. Women are rarely funny, but that was funny. And yeah, exactly. I've been following her since her very first video. Yes, she has always been incredibly wholesome. That was funny.
Is basically a Hydra at this point. Each time you chop off one gamers hate female characters accusation, 3 more grow back to take its place. And this gets us back around to the very start of this video, this ongoing pattern of female characters in games and how they are continuing to be misrepresented and treated in the West, most notably by AAA. And I'm tired, boss. First off, Sony was out here.
And look, she specifies mistreated in the West. They're mistreated in the East too. It's just not as overt and obvious. And this is where I do think she's going to be wrong. And maybe not about the Stellar Blade stuff, specific, but like about Resident Evil, for example. Characters, specifically coming out of Capcom, female and Square Enix as well. Female characters coming out of Capcom get a pass because at least they are still modeled beautifully. At least their models do look like the actual character models that the people that are playing them. But they're still written kind of like dog shit. Ashley Graham in Resident Evil 4 is written like dog shit. Ada is written like dog shit. Claire in Resident Evil 2 remake is written, and to be fair, Claire and Leon are both... Oh, okay. All the characters in Resident Evil remakes are written like dog shit. But the point is, she's talking about women here, so I'm going to talk about the women as well. These female characters coming out of Capcom, Square Enix, they're not well written. It's not as noticeable because at least they're not fucking ugly. That's one thing that's nice about being a mixed double minority, is if I criticize something and start getting labeled sexist, I get to play 1 or 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! Race cards. But that's funny. But yeah, it's not as noticeable that these female characters aren't well written because at least they're beautiful. Square Enix is getting less and less of a pass as time goes on because they keep shrinking Tifa's boobs. I swear they get smaller with each new game. Mostly, I agree with you, although I thought that in the most recent Final Fantasy VII Remake 3 trailer, they actually looked bigger. It's not going to give the game a pass because the fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake games are dog shit. But yes, I get what you're saying.
You're hyping up this state of play like crazy. We had a very early countdown, lots of industry buzz about it. They even brought it back to select movie theaters for the very first time since 2018. Even I was getting super curious about what was about to be revealed, but after they opened with Wolverine, my brain went 2 directions. The first being, no way, are they actually the ones to get to show off more GTA 6? And the other being, oh, we are about to get more intergalactic, aren't we? Imagine my surprise, though, when it ended with God of War Laundry. After the 20-minute reveal, within a few minutes, my whole feed was talking about it. Hot takes, memes, defenses of the defenses, people splitting into different camps, fans saying it is not a God of War game without Kratos. Why would we want to play as his...
And that's correct. It's not a God of War game without Kratos. It's not. Oh, but Kratos is in it. No, the fuck he isn't. All right. He's in an opening cutscene, and she might see some visions of him or whatever. Let's be fucking real. No, it's not a God of War game without Kratos. I'm not going to harp on this too much because I already said my piece on it. I did an entire video on it. You guys can just go watch that if you haven't seen it. But fuck this game and everything it stands for.
45-year-old dead wife. Other fans who are excited about it, and some people who just really hate the keep. However you dice it though, the backlash was real and pretty significant, and the fast reaction from Santa Monica on everything was pretty telling. Pretty quickly after it all started, they went into full PR mode, basically this reassurance of, don't worry, Kratos is still the god of war. We promise we have so many more stories to tell with him. Please just come along for the ride with Faye. Although, given production timelines and the fact that Sony themselves called this a mainline entry, I know we've got the remix coming, but
she said it. Why can't the fucking well, okay, because the idiots on the internet are being intentionally obtuse. Yes, Sony themselves call it a mainline entry. Not all women are stupid because she fucking gets it. Like the intentional, it's the millennial woes meme. It's literally just the millennial woes meme over and over. Hold on. Millennial woes Twitter. Open image in new tab. It's this right here. It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible. The key word, pretending. They are pretending they don't know that Sony said it was a mainline fucking game, so they can get away with the dumbassery of claiming ignorance and arguing on the internet. She fucking gets it.
probably we will not see a brand new Kratos game for, I don't know, 6 years or more.
It's
so
gonna be more. It's
the promise
gonna be
from
more
them is doing a lot of work. But my favorite part of this whole thing was when Domino's UK tweeted out that a God of War game with no Kratos is like a pepperoni passion pizza with no pepperoni. Some random intern being more in line with the audience than actual Santa Monica themselves. And instead of just ignoring it, Santa Monica fired back with, okay, thanks for the feedback, Domino's Pizza corporate account. And yes, I guess that is the best that they could do. Shortly after came the headlines defending them getting rage baited by a pizza company. And I don't see how any of this is how a confident studio behaves. You don't reassure people that hard and fast. You don't get baited by a pizza chain over a creative decision that is supposedly working very well, publicly saying that you're disappointed and hoping people will give the game a chance. You shouldn't have to put on a brave face just because of the latest.
Yeah, money talks, BS walks. If they actually had the confidence in this project that they claim they do, they would just be like, yeah, make your jokes, say your shit. The game's going to speak for itself, and you're all going to feel foolish. Jeff Keighley did that with High Guard. Now, he was wrong, and everybody knew he'd be wrong. But at least Jeff Keighley wasn't out there, like, begging and groveling and being like, oh, why are people being so mean? I can't believe I'm giving Jeff Keighley props. But to be fair, I'm giving Jeff Keighley props over Sony. Not exactly a high fucking bar. Or a High Guard
Century and your decades-long established franchise. A studio that trusts its premise and its audience just shows you the game and lets it speak for itself. And funnily enough, in the same week, we got to watch a studio do exactly that. Over at Summer Game Fest, Shift Up announced Stellar Blade Blood Rain with a brand new lead named Evie. I think the gameplay and graphics look really incredible. I am very excited. It is looking a bit different from the first game. The combat has shifted from the blade over to gauntlet and melee.
And it looks better for it. And it looks better for it, baby. Give me this fucking little petite broad be throwing hands, son. You love to see it. Oh, man. Oh, we want Eve back. Why? It's cool when Tifa Lockhart throws hands. It's cool when Evie throws hands, son.
The music still sounds fantastic though, and it is self-published now, not by Sony. And even though I was really sad to see that Eve is no longer the main character, the studio said that Evie is connected to Eve and that the goal is not to outdo her, but to make a character that players can connect with even more. They also mentioned that while looks are important, they are not everything, and they are heavily focusing on Evie's personality and improving the writing, which I think is great. So now we have got
yes, because anyone that's actually played Stellar Blade will admit, if they're being intellectually honest, Eve is mid. As a character, from the writing perspective, she's mid. I get it. She's beautiful. No one's taking that away from her. Eve, beautiful. She's kind of a meh character. And kind of a meh story. But the gameplay is fun as fuck. She is hot as fuck. Sometimes that's all you need. That being said, I do want to see. I want this game to be better. I do. I want this game to be better than Stellar Blade. Not Eve's. Like again. Let's be intellectual. what is Eve's defining characteristics from a writing perspective? Beyond her looks, what are her defining characteristics that are not just the most basic template for any Avatar character? I can forgive a mess story if the gameplay loop was fun as fuck. Exactly. And that's what Stellar Blade was. Stellar Blade has a super fun gameplay loop. It does. But the story, character writing, kind of weak.
Two studios, both handing you a new female lead, and this is where the whole you just hate female characters thing finally shows its hand once again, because nobody is actually against female leads. We have had 30 plus years of beloved ones, plenty of which are my favorite characters, and the lineup that people are hyped for right now is stacked with them. The demand has never been no female leads. The demand is accept our female leads, but then when someone goes and creates one that doesn't quite fit into that narrative, it is, oh no, not that one.
Yup. Where's the lie? She, again, back to the Eve thing. I like Eve. I do. There's also thousands of better female characters. I don't know, thousands, but there's notable better female characters. Tifa is a better female character. Lara Croft is a better female character. Amy Rose is a better female character. I can go on and on. That being said, I like Eve, and frankly, I like Eve 1,000-fold more than any of the female characters coming out of fucking Sony or Xbox or any of these major publishers and developers.
Is just the latest example of the whole Western AAA female character problem. Played by Deborah Ann Woll, an actual stunning woman. Nobody is disagreeing with that. Even the people defending her design agree. They are sharing her real life photos going, you don't like this? See? She is gorgeous. And yes, she is. That is kind of the whole point. Even her current day photos, if you want to be super fair, when you put them next to the in-game model, there is a noticeable gap, and that gap is not on accident. Despite what we have been told, it is not a tech limit. It is not just the lighting. You can see it the second you put the two side by side. It's the same issue we've talked about on this channel 100 times already. The one that only ever happens in the West. Fable, Star Wars Outlaws, Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, the new Jean Grey in Wolverine. Actually, most characters in that game. A beautiful actress or just a strong original design gets run through whatever the opposite of a beauty filter is, and we get handed the result while everyone else insists it looks no different, or it looks fine, or it is just the technology. And to be clear, she is not hot enough is not my whole argument here. I am not saying every female character needs to look like a supermodel, but when it is this clearly intentional that she has been...
No, but every female character does need to look good. Like, here's the dealio. Every female character does need to look good. Jessie in Final Fantasy VII is not as hot as Tifa. She's not. But she still looks good. And frankly, I know this is the hot take. I like Jessie better. I do. I like Jessie better. But that being said, every character needs to look good. And in the case of male characters, needs to at least look cool. It's that simple. I mean, again, unless like villains or something. But again, back to I think that Jessie and Tifa is the perfect example here. I don't think anybody in their right mind would say that if you're looking like just the objective beauty standards, that Jessie is hotter than Tifa. I don't think anyone will say that. But Jessie still does look good, and she looks cool. That's a fair point, Matt. Unreal Engine really takes work to make it look good. Yeah, it does. Absolutely agreed.
Altered. That decision tells me you are either embarrassed or threatened, or you've got some other agenda, and you're indirectly saying that you do not think this character can be equally compelling and beautiful at the same time. Like, those two things cannot possibly live in the same person. This is nothing new. Caring how a character looks is not some gross gamer thing. Everybody does this. Movie fans, show fans, romantasy readers will go to war over the casting of their book boyfriend. The whole reason I initially got into Baldur's Gate 3 was because of countless girls posting videos of the pretty makeup and clothes that they were styling their taps with. Pretending looks don't matter, or that it is somehow only a thing guys care about, is just dishonest, and it kills the conversation before it can even start. And with Faye, there has even been a clear change from her design in the previous games. Well, she's supposed to look realistic.
What a fucking downgrade, bro. What a look at this shit, dude. This is abysmal. And to be fair, this was a shitty game too. Now, not for Faye or anything, not the way she looked, but this God of War 2018 was a shitty game too. Well, holy fuck.
Or she's dead. It's a fantasy game. There's mythological beings all around. One of your companions is a quippy jelly cube. They have just put her in this safe, generic fantasy look that is completely forgettable next to Kratos. And it's not only her, it is the whole creative direction between the quippy, inanimate companions, lack of Kratos, lack of Norse-specific mythology.
I am saying that characters in entertainment media, be it movies, TV shows, paintings, video games, should look aspirational in their appearance. They should have. Excuse me. I agree and disagree. It depends on the character. It depends on the writing. It depends on the archetype. Like, if you're going to depict somebody as, if the archetype is that of like the lazy, slovenly individual, then they need to be portrayed as such. Now, when you're talking about like your heroes or your main characters, like, yes, in that regard, I agree. But if you look at, let's say, Full Metal Alchemist, Lust is a very attractive character because it is to complement the fact that she is, you know, the homunculus of lust. Sloth, on the other hand, fugly as shit because he's representing the archetype of sloth. So it just depends on the character. It depends on the writing. It depends on what they're trying to get across. Hughes is not a particularly handsome character. He's not a ugly character either. Maze Hughes is a relatively average-looking man. That's because his archetype is that he is an average father, average soldier, the whole nine. And as such, he is not, you know, drawn to the same like beauty standards as, say, Roy Mustang or Edward Elric himself. So, like, it's got to, the design of the character has to complement the themes, the archetypes, things to that effect. People should be asking when it comes to a lot of fantasy stuff nowadays, why is there so much purple? That's another goddamn great question. By the way, when you say the GOAT, I hope you're talking about Hughes, because yes, I agree. Hughes is the fucking GOAT. Shout out to Diesel Gulo for the sub. Appreciate you, homie. Read the last bit, you tard. I said this already. No, just because you told me to do it, I'm not going to.
Just this morning, I saw a tweet from Santa Monica sharing more info about the enchanted pink set of talking ribbons named Rue that will accompany Faye on her journey, which is exactly the tweet that I would come back to for info.
I don't know if you're trolling or if you're just retarded. I'm leaning towards retarded. Because no, there is an in-between between Supermodel and fucking Shanae. And I'm sorry, no. Jessie in Final Fantasy does not look like a fucking supermodel. Nor should she. Claire Redfield, in the originals, I'm talking about these garbage-ass remakes. In the originals, Claire Redfield doesn't look like a supermodel. Put Claire Redfield next to Ada Wong. Ada Wong looks like a supermodel. Claire just looks like a normal fit girl. So no, you're an idiot if you think this. Hopefully you're trolling, because that was retarded.
If I were creating my next Barbie fantasy game. Legitimately, if I did not know Faye was an existing character, I would not know that this was supposed to be a God of War game. Which, even if you take the title off of the cover art, it still doesn't look like a God of War game. But again, if that is not your cup of tea, it is still a female lead. So you just need to accept it. Or you might just hate women. Now, flip over to Eevee. A studio hands you a new...
Bro, the turnaround, the turn it back on them, that you might hate women, that was fucking funny.
Female lead, and despite some people missing Eve, including me, the overwhelmingly majority of the audience who likes this game was immediately excited. And for the record, I do think Eevee is super cute. It is clear that they were going for an elite...
I'm going to rewind this because I was reading this chat. Duh. This goes without saying. Like, fucking obviously. Anyone saying supermodel, no, but the character is supposed to be a warrior, I don't want to see 500. That's my entire fucking point. So like comments like this don't need to be said because yeah, fucking obviously.
Eevee, a studio hands you a new female lead, and despite some people missing Eve, including me. The overwhelmingly majority of the audience who likes this game was immediately excited. And for the record, I do think Eevee is super cute. It is clear that they were going for an Alita type aesthetic. And as a 5'2" NPC myself, I am excited that we are finally getting a short queen in the lead role. But the same crowd that was just demanding you accept Faye as your new female lead once again goes, no, not that one. It is just a Gooner game. And then the real controversy, a whole wave of people calling Eevee a literal child, and worse.
Here
now,
we go.
I have seen it.
Yes, I was wondering if she was going to bring this aspect up, because this is the part that this is the most egregious aspect of all this. The calling her a child. The calling her a child is the most egregious part. I disagree with you, the point you're trying to make. I said that in the initial message. That's why I said read the last bit. Well, again, there's 155 people watching live right now, and I'm also trying to react to this. So no, when you start streaming and realize how this is done, then you can do it. But no, my point still stands. And good. I'm glad you admit you're retarded, Alucard.
Attacks coming from all sides. The internet is up in arms. Journalists have already been writing articles about it. And while I do think at this point the discourse has gotten a bit out of hand, to try and be as fair as possible, I will admit that the very first shot I saw of her face, I thought she looked a little bit younger, but looking younger and a child are two completely different things.
Correct. She does look younger. She doesn't look like a child. Nobody, I've not seen any individual. I've not seen a single one. Now, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I haven't seen a single fucking one say that she looks older. That she looks older than Eve. Nearly everybody agrees she looks younger than Eve, which is not the fucking same as looking like a child. Excuse me.
A 20-year-old is going to look younger than a 30-year-old or even a 25-year-old. The creator also stated that they wanted Eevee to be shorter and a little younger than Eve, which does look to be the case. And even if—
And guess what? If she's tied to Eve, that probably ties into her fucking character. If she looks younger than Eve, maybe it's because she's tied to being, like a prototype daughter kind of thing.
if you want to cherry pick that one shot of her, after watching the rest of the trailer, it is completely obvious she is an adult East Asian woman. Her full character model has even leaked at this point, further proving that we actually even got our first Eevee cosplay, and she looks great. It is just so strange to me because petite features on an adult woman do not make her a child or childlike. A younger looking face on an adult woman does not make her a child or childlike. Pull up any K-pop group or K-drama and you'll see this constantly. This is Lisa in her early 20s, one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. Same for so many Korean stars in their early 20s.
I brought up this exact image in my coverage of this. 33, 32, 29. All these look like adult women, by the way. They look like young adult women, but adult women nonetheless. No different than Eevee.
And weirdly, we never saw this discourse over someone like Lily in the first game or Rebecca Chambers in Resident Evil, both petite.
And Rebecca Chambers, by the way, I don't know if you guys know your Resident Evil lore. She's 18 years old. She's an adult. She's a very, very young adult. Again, it's fine. Also, we see these designs for underage characters in anime all the time, and it doesn't matter because it's not fucking real, because it's fiction. By the way, I didn't even think about this until just now, and I can't believe I didn't think about this until just now. What does it even mean underage when it comes to Eevee? She's a fucking robot. She doesn't even have an age. She's a fucking robot. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, yeah, Rebecca is an adult. She's a very young adult because she's 18, but yes.
Young adult woman. But the part that does kind of give all of this away, though, is that many of these same people tried this exact type of thing with the first Stellar Blade. They came after Eve as hard as they possibly could. Male gaze, offensive, unrealistic. I've even seen receipts now of the time when people claimed Eve.
Except with Stellar Blade, they didn't alter her face. They made it separately, and they made her look like a 5th grade child. Meanwhile, the person they modeled the body off of, gorgeous woman, especially her face. Eve could look completely like her, but yes, I'm so glad. Hypno and I were talking about this the day that Stellar Blade 2 was shown off. The day it was shown off, he and I, with maybe other people were talking about it too, he and I are the only ones that I know were bringing up saying, people called this pedo bait. People called the first one pedo bait. Now they're trying to twist history. Yes, okay, Android, fair enough. Now they're trying to cyborg, not android, even still partially human. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here. Finally, these people were trying to twist history. People were trying to twist history and pretend like these claims about Eve being pedo bait didn't fucking exist. When they absolutely did.
Herself had a childlike face. The whole thing did not land. The game was a hit. Fans loved it. Of course, in the second game, fresh off of all of the Laufey discourse, with everybody already worked up about women in games, they were always going to come and swing even harder. And this time, the swing has shifted to the worst thing that they could think of. She's literally a child. But like I said, it is not just Evie. Eve was also problematic. To be was unrealistic. There was a time Bayonetta was not accepted. The new Lara Croft needed dragging for wearing makeup.
And in that time when Bayonetta wasn't accepted, guess who spearheaded that? The same fucking feminists, Anita Sarkeesian and all of her cronies, that now claim that she is an empowering, strong female character. Why can't Eve be more like Bayonetta? Except for when Bayonetta came out, anyone that remembers their gaming history knows that these same post-Gamergate fucking feminists, maybe it was pre-Gamergate actually, I don't remember when the first Bayonetta came out, it may have been pre-Gamergate, threw a fucking fit about her.
A fully clothed, high-collar character like Amelie from Knight's Path was just called unrealistic and tradwife porn. And that unrealistic claim gets me every single time, because where was this realism crowd for something like Baldur's Gate 3? A game that I love, game of the year, but also a game where, if you wanted to, you could take Shadowheart, Bazel, and Karlach into battle completely booty naked with no mods required. Why didn't they show up for 1348 Ex Voto with a female lead in a full practical suit of medieval armor? Because it was never about realism. It is about which women in which games are allowed to be attractive. And underneath that, it has never really been about female leads at all. It has always been, no, not that one. The second a female character threatens the narrative or the developers, she is shoved out the door, insults flying, a pawn that gets moved off the board the moment that.
As a black man, I'm upset about the comparison because by Anita's ilk about us towards orcs. Yeah, right? Right? Like, how are these motherfuckers not... The lack of self-awareness is amazing. They will tell you orcs are black people when you never had that thought in your life. But if you had that thought, Anita, if you made that comparison, like, doesn't that mean you looked at orcs and thought about black people? Like, maybe I need to up my racism game. Maybe my racism isn't strong enough. Maybe I should be looking at orcs and thinking black people, or goblins and thinking fucking Jews. Maybe I need to level up my racism. I grew up in the trailer park, right? I thought I was pretty fucking good at racism. But these feminists, dude, at every turn, they somehow find a way to out-racism me. It's crazy.
She's inconvenient, but... Finally, moving away from character design, we do have to address the other elephant with God of War, the repeat pattern of male-led franchises being handed to female leads. Now, I don't know. God of War Laufey could end up being a great game that fans unite.
No, it won't. Come on. You don't gotta try that hard to play fair. No, it fucking won't. Didn't read the last half. Sure, we drag a third leg around everybody, but still offensive. Okay, fair enough. That was worth reading.
Together on and end up loving. I don't know the future, but even if that does happen, it is obvious that Santa Monica is making a lot of creative decisions with this game that at the very least are sparking a lot of backlash from their fan base. From the quippy blue cube, sparkly talking ribbons, and quirky millennial dialogue to playing as Faye herself, at the heart of it,
Dude, even fucking she is talking about the quirky millennial dialogue. When we were covering this shit live, Atreus was going to bat for the dialogue in God of War Laundry. Now, to be fair, Atreus was dogging on everything else. But Atreus was like, oh, the writing is not that bad. That's not millennial writing. Bro, I said it. Hypno said it. Sevi said it. Fucking nicest, most wholesome gamer girl coverage person on the internet, NPC, is saying it. Yes, that was cringe-ass millennial fucking writing. I don't get how Atreus didn't see it.
still got a beloved male-led franchise that is doing great and has been around for the last 20 years. The studio then decides it wants to tell a woman's story, which is completely fine, but instead of building her a brand new world, they hand her an existing one and move the original lead into the passenger seat or the trunk. And I think that if this was just a one-off thing, not a consistent pattern, people might not be so vocal about it. I don't know, it's hard to say because the tone is pretty different too with this one, but Sony Studios just can't stop doing this. Naughty Dog killed Joel and handed you Ellie and then made you play as Abby for half of the game. Uncharted spun off without Nathan Drake at all, just Chloe and Nadine. Ghost of Tsushima does huge numbers, and the follow-up, Yote, is not Jin's story anymore, it is Atsu's. And not Sony, but same thing.
She made, see, when she said Ghost of Yote did huge numbers, I thought she was going to fall into the trap, or when she said Ghost of Tsushima did huge numbers, I thought she was going to fall into the trap of saying Yote didn't. She's like, Ghost of Tsushima did great numbers. It's not Jin's story anymore. She didn't fall for the trap of saying the game was a flop. Background NPC didn't smash JT herself. You'll love to see it.
With Geralt finishing his story in Witcher 3, and now Witcher 4 belongs to Ciri. Now, to be clear, I love Chloe, I love Ellie, I love Ciri, and I don't think playing as them is a bad thing, but it is about what they keep being used to do and any type of discourse that follows. Replacing or sidelining a beloved protagonist, any protagonist, a man or woman, will inevitably get pushback. That is very normal. We just talked about it with Evie replacing Eve, and it even happened with something as beloved as Red Dead 2. But the second it's a woman stepping into a man's role, the conversation just ends because suddenly you're not allowed to ask whether it was a good creative call, whether it still appeals to the target audience, whether it's something that fans can rally behind, because now you hate women.
Smash didn't say Yote flopped, percent underperforms, and it did. Any sequel tells us in the original is underperforming. But we don't, okay, but here's the dealio. Tsushima it sold massively over like 6 years or 4 years, however long it was. We don't have the information that Yote underperformed or not. We also, you're incredibly wrong. Any sequel that sells less than the original is underperforming. That's also incorrect. Underperforming has to do with budget to sales ratio. Underperforming has nothing to do with how well the previous game sold. It has to do with, like, if you've got something that came out, let's say you have something that costs you $100 to make, and you sell it for $200, and people buy a fuck ton of it, great, you're making profit. And if you have something that comes out and it costs you $5 to make, and you sell it for $50, you're actually making more profit than you were with the previous thing. Like, there's the previous thing is actually irrelevant. It's all about budget. The fact that even compares with orcs clearly exposes their face, there's that too. Why does this woman have so much bisexual lighting? Tired of cinematic games? You and me both. I'm absolutely tired of cinematic games.
And this is not specific to gaming. The same move has played out across Marvel, across Star Wars, the whole the Force is female thing, sold as being more inclusive, but it tends to land as taking something that people, mostly men, love, deciding it's problematic, and then fixing it for the modern audience. And that tells me it is not actually about telling women's stories at all. I think if that were the case, we would probably see a lot more brand new stories and characters standing on their own. It is more about coming down on masculinity and breaking existing toys, because it really only ever runs in one direction. When is the last time you saw anyone ever take an
not true. There are exceptions within the company. We don't know those expectations exactly, but they exist. Any company doing is going to expect a sequel to outsell the original, and the original is loved. Not inherently, not necessarily. Markets absolutely can change. Like, for one, again, when you've got a game that's been around for 6 years, obviously it's going to sell a whole lot over a long period of time. Also, when you've got games, there's some games that were released initially single platform. Or multi-platform, sorry, and then it goes exclusive. It's inherently going to sell less if it goes exclusive, which kind of adds to your exclusivity argument that you were making earlier. So I've got you and a gotcha right there. But no, just outselling the original is irrelevant because there are other factors, or there could be other factors. You're correct. The companies can have expectations, but like right now, even DC is expecting Supergirl to do less numbers than Superman. By your logic, they should expect it to do more because Superman already came out. DC is openly acknowledging they expect Supergirl to do less numbers than Superman. So the expectations are not always that it's going to sell more than the previous one. It's that it's going to sell within certain other parameters. Now, selling more can be an expectation, but that's not an inherent truth.
Established and very well-known female lead
Yeah,
and
Supergirl is going to
swap
flop.
her out for a man.
When the original is
The
that
next
loved,
Horizon
Superman
game
was
is not
loved.
going to.
Again, you're wrong. Well, okay, you're half right. Yes, Superman was not loved by the general audiences, but DC has ran this narrative and is continuing to run the narrative that it was. If DC wasn't loved, they wouldn't be doing Supergirl. They would, or if Superman wasn't loved, they wouldn't be doing Supergirl. They wouldn't be doing the Superman sequel. They wouldn't have James Gunn still in control. Now, again, they probably know behind the scenes that it's not loved, and it's probably pride that's what's keeping them going. But the fact of the matter is, they have continued to try and push a narrative that Superman did make money, that it was loved, that not only did it make its budget back and its marketing back, that it was a huge success, plus it had all the merch sales. That narrative has perpetuated. So for them to continue a year and a half later perpetuating the narrative, or a year later perpetuating the narrative that Superman made money, and then also acknowledge that Supergirl is going to make less than Superman. Now, if DC actually came out and said Superman wasn't loved, didn't make money, you'd have a point. But DC has continued the narrative that Superman was loved and that it did make money, and yet they are still expecting Supergirl to do worse. How much something is loved is irrelevant. Things can be loved and not sell well. In fact, there's a lot of things that are flops that are loved. The movie UHF, starring Weird Al, is loved. At the box office, it fucking flopped. And I get it, that was 1987 or 85 or whatever fucking year it was. Things have changed a whole lot since then. But that adds my point. Markets are constantly changing. Comparing Ghost of Tsushima to a market 6 years ago to Yote now is a bad comparison. I have seen no evidence, no actual financial evidence beyond feels that Yote underperformed. Now, it might have. I'm not even saying it didn't. What I was saying was she didn't fall into that trap of making the claim without anything to back it up. And we do not have any evidence to back up that Yote underperformed. None. I actually agree with you. I think it did. But I'm not going to make a definitive claim like that without evidence. And that was where Smash fucked up. He made a definitive claim without evidence.
Be led by Aaron. Lara Croft's next adventure is not going to sideline her for Winston the Butler. The Alien franchise is not going to cast a man as the lead role for their next movie, which again, like I said, is kind of where the Stellar Blade sequel shows us another angle. Shift Up has seemingly benched Eve for a brand new lead. And while I am going to really miss her, this is completely different from the God of War situation. Evie still fits the world extremely well and is someone that the existing audience would want to play as. Despite their differences, you cannot tell me that she does not fit the existing Stellar Blade expectations. I mean, come on, they are clearly still building this game for their target audience. And
you did fuck that, stir some shit. But here's the dealio. Like, if you're talking shit on X or whatnot, yeah, look, I love stirring shit. I love stirring shit. But by the same token, this is my job, and authenticity is the currency of the internet. I'm not going to have people watching me sing super chats the whole nine if I'm saying dumb, wrong shit all the time. Because at that point, I'm no longer looked at as somebody that is worthy of, giving that sort of attention to, that money to, the whole nine. Like, nah, stirring shit is not good for the authenticity factor, because if you get stuff wrong enough, and you're no longer taken seriously. Look what happened to Grums. Grums used to be one of the tip top on X. All the quote-unquote anti-woke gamers were always agreeing with him all the time. Grums got complacent. Grums posted mounds and piles and heaps of dumb, wrong information. He's been caught lying multiple times. He's been caught going back on his opinions and changing them and pretending he didn't. Been so inconsistent. Grums is a laughing stock now, even within the quote-unquote anti-woke space. Like that is how a fall from grace can happen. So no, I'm not going to stir shit if it's going to potentially cost me my career. Well, my only argument was you said Smash said it flopped. He said it underperformed. I do agree with you on the evidence factor. That's completely fair and accurate. If that's what I said about Smash, all right, fair enough. If I said flopped, it's just that underperformed. At this point, that's kind of a distinction without a difference, but at least I'll meet you in the middle there.
They even split from Sony to do it on their own terms. And that's the part that kind of made this whole week a little funny to me.
I don't
After
disagree with
all
this,
of the
T-bro.
discourse
I don't.
started
I
with
like
God
Smash.
of War,
That's my friend,
I
but I
knew
don't
that if
disagree
I
with
was
it at all.
just a little patient, this argument would settle itself in record time. Enter Summer Game Fest and all of the other titles featured across Xbox and PlayStation, where it fell apart pretty quickly, and we saw such a celebration for women.
I don't think that they fell apart pretty quickly. I think she's being a bit disingenuous. Maybe not disingenuous. I think she's looking at the wrong thing. I don't think the Xbox or PlayStation fell apart in this regard. They both had great showcases with a few bad games. But Summer Game Fest also had bad games. Like, yeah, God of War Laundry, dog shit. I mean, real Summer Game Fest also had a lot of dog shit. Xbox had some dog shit. It had some great shit. It had God of War E-Day. It had Crazy Taxi. It had Persona. It had Spyro. Like, most of these showcases were good with some that just have some dumb shit in them. And Summer Game Fest was no exception. So saying that the Summer Game Fest dog walked the other two, I don't think is actually true. Don't lie, just be contrary, like an old grumpy man. Yeah, you know what? In that regard, you're right. I already am.
Games across the board. Resident Evil Veronica, Final Fantasy VII Revelation, and Street Fighter VI, 1666 Amsterdam, Gundam Rogue Orbit, Alien Isolation 2, Ace Combat 8, Castlevania, Belmont's Curse, Beast of Reincarnation. I'm sure there's more that I missed, but plenty of games with upcoming female leads or prominent female characters that fans are super excited for. I don't think anyone is mad that Faye exists, and I'm sure a lot of people probably like her as a character, but even if you think the game will be good, taking a beloved male
yeah, the new Spyro game and Gundam looked amazing. I think there's a lot more than just those two that looked amazing, but I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Those two look just flat out fucking great.
Protagonist and his own series, and giving him the same treatment that we continue to see happen, while also tonally changing the game, and then not understanding how they're
taper your expectations for Alien Isolation 2, guys. I'm sorry, I keep harping on this. Look, I love Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation came out as a banger horror game when we were in a horror game drought. People got to remember, 2014 ain't like 2025 through 2020, like let's say 2020 through 2026. Horror fans are eating good, especially the indie scene. We are getting so many goddamn banger horror games. It's great. 2014 wasn't like that. We were in a drought. Alien Isolation came out. It was incredible. That being said, the vast majority of the team that made Alien Isolation, they're gone. They're not the ones making Alien Isolation 2. Now, I'm not saying Alien Isolation 2 will be bad. What I'm saying is taper your expectations. It's worth being cautious about. Anytime a dev team leaves or fractures or isn't the same anymore and a new dev team comes in, you see a whole lot of changes to the game's identity. I myself am cautious. I want Alien Isolation 2 to be good. I'm excited at the concept of Alien Isolation 2, but with the dev team being gone, I am quite nervous. Put those expectations on a leash for real.
Could be pushback is why we will continue to see this discourse happen. Players are tired of pointing at something with their own two eyes and being told that it is not happening. While gaming in general has always skewed male, God of War in particular has always leaned hard in that direction. And that is not to say that women do not enjoy the series as well, but it is not hard to understand that many fans would, of course, rather play as Kratos in a God of War game than his dead wife. It's kind of like a bully on the playground who has been smacking you around every day for years, and you've just been taking it because that's how it's gone for as long as you can remember, until one day you catch his hand and you tell him to stop hitting you, and he looks at you like you are the one that has the problem. We are not the bullies for asking the smacking to finally stop. And all of
but you will be treated as such. And this is why, as wholesome as she is, I'm kind of on the fence about how the direction I want NPC to go. On the one hand, I like that she's the wholesome individual. She's not like me, which will just say ridiculous, racist, misogynistic shit for shot value because it's super fucking fun and stuff like that. But on the other hand, like, her being all nice and wholesome isn't going to change the games or change the industry. They're still going to hate her. They're still going to look at her like she's just another pick-me, another fucking, just a female chud. Like, being nice and being wholesome will not change anything. So part of me is like, I wish she would just go off and say some ridiculous shit. The other part of me is like, but this is her actual personality. This is who she is. Then yeah, never change. Don't be something you're not. I'm so mixed on NPC. She's great either way, but I'm so mixed on her at times.
The pushback lately in general, not just Laufey or the ongoing female character debate, but mixed
yes.
Stop killing games, players voting with their wallets, tired of paying more for getting less, voicing what they think. The sheer venom that pushback always gets from journalists, the internet, or just people in the industry is
like her,
exactly
like
how
Vera
you know
Dark,
that it's
like
landing.
Cassie, like
They would
Sebi.
not get this rattled if the pushback was not doing something. A AAA gaming studio would not be firing back at a pizza company's goofy tweet. And unless these companies can fully support themselves on this modern audience that they are constantly seeking.
I think being wholesome is a good move. I think being wholesome is a good move. The people like you go off are far more common. People being wholesome is potentially reach a different crowd, maybe get people. It'll get other people like viewers to listen. I think you are correct in that it could get just regular people on the internet to listen. The studios and the people actually making these games will not listen no matter what. It doesn't matter how wholesome she is. It doesn't matter how nice, how polite. Those people will never listen. They will still just look at her like a pick-me. And frankly, a lot of normies on the internet will as well. But she will probably almost definitely reach a different audience than somebody like me or Asmongold or someone. 1000%. I agree with that part.
Until they remember what and who they are building for, this will just keep happening over and over again. All right, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here. I know this one was a little bit more critical, but I don't want the takeaway to be from this week that I am bitter. There were genuinely so many exciting things announced, and it just reminded me that I love games. I want more than anything for this industry to course correct and improve, and there are so many devs and studios out there who are working tirelessly to make this happen, and we have gotten some really great games over the past few years with lots more to come soon. Like I talked about a couple of videos ago, I think ultimately it all comes down to trust. The studios.
The viewers are what's important. Studios won't listen, even if you're a wholesome person like her. Increasing the people. Oh, scroll up. Shit. Increasing the people acting against studios, not buying the games, is how to affect change. And I agree with that. I do. I do agree with that.
That trust and respect their core audience and build for them are the ones that earn our trust back. And the more of them that we get, the faster this whole thing turns around. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, great video. Let me throw this in the comments for you guys. Give me one moment here. I agree with the vast majority of what she said. I wish she talked about the Eve stuff a little bit more. I do. I think that is the far more interesting conversation, because that game is going to do well and God of War Laundry is going to fucking flop. But that was a great video. You say, how about the two of you debating? I don't, well, first of all, most women are not controversial or confrontational. I mean, okay, women are confrontational. Women are confrontational in a different way than men. Most women don't go into the debate scene. I also don't think her and I have enough disagreement to debate. I would definitely want to talk with her, have a conversation with her, and when we find points of disagreement, talk about those disagreements. But I don't think that I don't think it'd be a smart move to be like, hey, you want to come on my channel and debate some shit? Like, she doesn't seem like a confrontational individual. That's why she's so wholesome. If she was a confrontational individual like Cinny, that's a different story. But she doesn't come off like that, so that'd be the wrong move. But a conversation would be great. And then if those conversation leads to somewhere we disagree, that's a different story. Yeah, was there debate that they agree on most, if not all points? And we definitely don't agree on all points. There's been several times I've disagreed with her throughout her videos, like not just this one, but in pretty much every video she's put out, I found some point of disagreement, which is a good thing. I don't want to just watch a video I 100% agree with and like circle jerk it and whatnot. But yeah, she mostly does agree, so there isn't even a whole lot to debate. And yeah, she agrees with us. She's just nicer. That's what it boils down to. She just has a much nicer way of wording things. With that being said, boys, we've been going for almost 3 hours. I'm outie like 4 circles. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. We will be back tomorrow, same time, to talk about God who knows what. The news changes every fucking day. So with that being said, let's see who's live, and we'll send a raid over. I don't see anyone live that I watch on Kicks. This will just be a YouTube raid. Give me one moment here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. YouTube changed their settings back. They were fucked up yesterday. That's good. Redirect. We're gonna raid Mia since apparently I didn't support her enough. We're gonna raid Mia. Alrighty, crew. Everyone, go tell Mia Words of Paradise raid, Vital Idol raid. Shout out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the donos. I will see you guys maybe on Zax's channel tonight. I would like to go on Zax's channel tonight. What do you call? This joke doesn't work as well for me because it's pronounced Porsche. I get it, a Porsche monkey. That's funny. But it's pronounced Porsche. In German, there's an E at the end. It makes the sound, like Danke. Porsche is the proper way to say it, but I get it. Anyway, we're going to raid Mia. Make sure to tell Vital Idol raid. Thank you guys so much. I might be on Zach's stream tonight. Whether I am or I'm not, doesn't matter. I will be on tomorrow, normal time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.